Hello and welcome to episode 0.5 of Outbreak Undead for Hunters Entertainment. I am a monster, so usually I will start just with crazy shit happening right at the top of the episode, but I realize unless I give you at least some warning, people think they've missed something. You haven't. And with that being said, on to the crazy shit. You all have been out scavenging. You're on your way back to your stronghold outside Kupko. You're about a block away from it, and you can see the towering building looming there with the disaster spotlights all illuminating the area outside of it. You've been creeping up a hill nearby in between the old abandoned parking decks of what was a mall complex a few short months ago, but might as well be years. But you are aware of the fact that you are being hunted. As you all creep along slowly, what would you like to do?
Where are the noises coming from?
They are echoing through the parking decks. You think maybe you could make a break for it and get back to your headquarters, but you're not sure. Maybe they don't know you're here. Maybe you'll give away your position, or worse, give away the position at home base.
Okay, but we're in a parking garage.
You're coming up the street in between the parking garages. Yes, Madison, you're about to say something?
Madison just kind of looks at the group and goes, shh, and starts to gently kind of creep and look for like things along the walkway to make sure nobody's about to step on any like tin cans or anything that's going to give our position away, and just kind of lead with footsteps to kind of show a space for everyone else to walk in to avoid noise.
Now, dear listener, I have very much ambushed them with this, and only Markia has ever played this game before, and I promise you I am going to explain the rules to everybody, but not yet. This might be a new record for somebody dying before you even get back there. So, I want all of you to give me a stealth check. Now, in this game, you're going to roll your percentile dice, and you want low numbers. You want to get under that number on your sheet. In general, low numbers are always good in this game. As Madison begins to slowly tiptoe forward, Madison, what do you get?
That's a 23 is what I rolled, but I'm not
Okay.
sure what my stealth is.
It is near the top under basic skills. It is on the right-hand column. It is the last skill at the top.
I have, wait, last skill at the top?
Stealth.
Stealth, yes, that's 45%, and I rolled a 32, not 23. Sorry.
You rolled a 32. That is okay. That is still 1 degree of success. That's good. I mean, you're by no means the most quiet person, but at least you've managed not to let your canteen clank or anything as you sort of like casually walk along. How about you, Bean? So we currently have 1 degree of success.
Okay, I'm not exactly sure how this works. My stealth is listed as 43%.
And you want to roll low. You want under that.
Oh, cool. I rolled a 58.
So that is over that. That is bad. That is 2 degrees of failure. Okay. So you have currently eclipsed Madison's 1 degree of success. You are operating with 1 degree of failure. As of now, you guys are not being very stealthy at all. How about you, Nathan?
I rolled a 36 and my stealth is a 39.
So that is 1 degree of success. That is actually good. So currently it's a push. Right now, you guys are kind of just normally taking a walk. You're not being overly quiet, but you're also not being overly noisy. It is all going to come down to Pharaoh. Pharaoh, how'd you do?
I rolled an 11%.
That sounds good.
And
my
would
stealth
that, and that is
45. Ooh.
Pharaoh, you have been on the front lines of the pandemic longer than anyone. You were at Big Boxtopia when the outbreak first arrived here in your town, and were one of the few people that managed to escape that bloodbath with your head on your shoulders. You have learned a few things about these infected. And as they start to tiptoe around, it's been 6 months. By now, anyone who is sort of still alive and operational has at least some skill, because everybody that was too unadaptable, we'll call them, the people that were unadaptable, are all pretty much fucking dead already. So these three aren't bad as they start to move along. But Pharaoh, you're like, wait. Okay, a little further to the side here in the shadows, just kind of watch for a second, watch. And sure enough, as you all sort of slink up this hill along what used to be the mall, is still the mall, but no one goes in the mall anymore. You do see up ahead between you and home base, a figure just sort of creeps out of the shadows and but as its head rotates around on a swivel, it doesn't seem to have picked you up. Your plan of putting everyone over into the shadows has worked, it seems. And you do hear it lifts its head and goes, "Arr, arr, arr, arr." And in the parking garages around you, you do hear like, "Arr, arr, 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 arr." But they don't seem to have figured out that you're here yet, but that one is definitely between you and home base.
Is it facing us?
So far, it doesn't seem to have found you. It's sniffing and looking around.
Let's take him out. I pull out a bat, but I am not a ranged person.
I
So-
want to just throw a can down the alleyway in the opposite direction.
You want to see if you can lead it off. Okay. Again, all right. Pharaoh, give me your, I believe I have a sheet for you here. Make sure I'm looking at the right one. You can make a throw check, which is in the second category, train skills. It is the last one on the right.
Okay, I see it.
Yep.
It's a 45%.
Mm-hmm.
That is that's a 51%.
So you're only 6% over. So that actually is still, that is basically a push. It is not quite 1 degree of failure. I will explain all of this terminology momentarily, but it's not fantastic, Pharaoh. You sort of wing something over towards the parking deck and clang, clang. And it does sort of look that direction, but it hasn't completely drawn it off yet. It's like,
While
and
it's distracted,
Mhm.
I'm gonna motion to the others to like move far back, and I'm gonna take aim at it with my bow.
Okay, you're gonna try and take it out with a bow. Okay. You are not unskilled with the bow, Madison. I'm just making sure I look up the right character for you. All right, same thing. The bow is under the trained skills. It is the top skill on the left in the second category. For you, I know we moved some things around. So you said you were going to swap one of your firearm skill. We're using pre-generated characters, dear audience, but we'll explain that too momentarily.
46 out of 69.
69 is your skill and you rolled a 46?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's 46 to 56 to 66. That is basically 2 degrees of success. So while you all see Madison pulls her bow back for death from a distance, do any of you do anything else? You know this drill. She's pretty good at this.
Mhm.
I just start scurrying away. I'm
Hmm.
done. I'm donezo. Hey guys, I think we should head back to the base camp because I don't. This feels real bad. This feels not good.
We've been together for a little bit, right?
Yeah, this is
So
not your first time you've gone ranging. Yep.
I feel like the second I see Madison taking aim, I'm gonna go back to back with her just to make sure that there's no surprises coming from behind with my bat out, ready to slug somebody with it.
It's almost like you know me.
Yeah,
Ah.
Pharaoh takes her. Oh,
No, please, Pharaoh. What? I haven't described it yet.
Pharaoh takes her gun out of her holster and holds it to her side. It's ready to go, and she's ready to run.
Right in the neck, Madison. It starts to thrash around. It is injured but not dead, and it does sort of stumble to the side, kind of the stairs of one of those upscale pizza joints that used to matter. And as it sort of stumbles over, you guys do have a clear shot to run for the front door.
Let's run, guys. Let's not be heroes today.
I'm already going. I'm already going.
Everybody gonna run for it?
Yeah, we're running for it.
All of you give me endurance checks. And under the basic skills, it is on the left-hand side. It's midway down. Endurance. I won't even tell you guys which of you should be good at this because that is the fastest way to get cursed by hubris.
Oh, tell me about it.
16 out of 39.
16. So that's 26, 30. So that is 2 degrees of success. You, Madison, it's like you took off before the arrow hit. You're like, good. And you're already moving forward before the arrow hit it in the neck. So Madison, so we're right now we got 2 degrees of success. How'd you do over there, Nathan?
83.
What was your target number?
78.
That is only 80, 78. So that's still, since you're within the first 10%, is actually just kind of a push.
Okay.
You do sort of like when Madison's like, bang you, and you were back to back. It took you a second to be like, okay, we're running.
I lag behind 1 second.
She opened up a little bit on you, but so far we still got a net of 2 degrees of success. This is still going well. How you doing over there, Pharaoh?
I got a 27 out of 39.
So that's 1 degree of success. So now we're at 3 degrees of success. Same thing. You guys are moving quickly, still relatively silently. And how'd it come out, Bean?
16 out of 28.
Oh, yes.
So same thing. There's 4 degrees of success between you. So even though Nathan, it kind of takes you a second to catch on with what the girls already knew. They're like, ooh, ooh, ooh. As you're moving uphill here, you guys are moving along. And as you come around the corner, you all see this thing that is shot looks up at you and it's like, and it goes to pounce and busts through the window of this once in perhaps future pizzeria, and the alarms go off. And you hear all around you.
Beaten feet.
Wow.
Beaten
Run,
feet.
run.
Beaten
Booking it
feet.
the
It's
hell
time
out of
to
there.
go.
As you all are running, you see faces coming up along all the parking decks there, and some of them are flinging themselves off. And as they hit the ground, you hear loud snaps of their ankles and legs as they hit the ground. They don't seem to care. They just get up and come limping after you. And as you see ahead, these spotlights on the front of the Coopco building, some of them angle towards you all, so you can see. And first they light you up and show you, and very much turn away from you and towards all of the infected that are coming after you. And you hear, as you smell horrific packets of rotting flesh are being catapulted off the building in all directions to distract them as you all are heading in. And as you are getting close to the door, you see one of the industrial size plates of metal, one of those road plates that have been dug up, that have been propped in the doorway, is being slowly pulled apart. And you hear, come on, run, goddammit, run, as you all are heading back towards the house. But you are not quite fast enough.
Oh,
Nathan.
Yes.
Give me a dodge check, because one of them rolled extraordinarily high.
Oh, boy.
Dodge is going to be in the top under your basic skills on the left-hand side.
I rolled a 33, and my dodge is 51.
So that is 2 degrees of success. It has 3. So unless you all do something to help Nathan, the infected is going to catch him before he gets into the house.
I'm going to shoot it in the head.
You're going to try and shoot? Okay, Madison, did I hear you're going to try and shoot also?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, Madison, you want to go for it since your thing is silent? Quieter than mine?
Yes.
It's true. Right now, a lot of noise is happening, but theoretically, it's angering them up in general, but theoretically, it's still across the street. since you are holding and prepared to do this, Pharaoh, we'll see how she rolls, and I'll let you decide if you take a shot also before I resolve all this. Because Nathan, you're going. You're like, oh, we're gonna make this. This is gonna be okay. And out of one of those big palm trees right in front, you could tell it had already been climbing up, probably smelling the rotting meat that you guys keep on the top. And as you're running, sees you and pounces down towards you.
Ooh.
What'd you get, Madison?
2 zeros on the percentile dice and 1 on the number dice. So I think that's a 1. I think that's
Not only is that a 1, that is the crit in this game. That is the
Wow.
best it can possibly be. So, Nathan, as you see this thing pounce and you sort of grip your bat, you're like, all right, this is the end. You just see it's like, through its mouth, pins it to the tree. And it just like kind of hangs there, bleeding. As you guys run to the front door and you hear like, holy shit, come on, get in. And as you guys are coming out from behind you, you see that they're all coming for you. Do you guys run inside?
Heck yes.
Yeah.
Push it back over and you hear the doom along the walls. And a moment later, you all hear the voice of your leader come down, and she says to you all, great. Did you all at least get the fucking gasoline we sent you to get? And welcome to ZOMBV from Hunters Entertainment. Like I said, tonight is going to be session 0.5, where I'm going to explain the game to these poor people who already got thrust into playing it, and you as well, dear viewer. We'll talk about some of the mechanics. We'll talk about the characters that we're going to be playing. And then once we're all kind of on the same page, we'll take a little break, and then we're going to come back and we're actually going to play the game in earnest a little bit more. So let's start with so you tell people who you are and who your character is. Let's start with Hawkeye there, that is already notch 2 infected. May.
Hi there, I'm Melee Damage. I will be playing Madison Martell, yes, the Hawkeye sniper. She is a bit of a conspiracy theorist, so she was fairly well prepped, I think, when society fell. Maybe not expecting zombies, maybe expecting some other fall of society, but finds herself a little prepared every now and then, nonetheless, especially with her handy-dandy bow skills. Chicks dig bow skills.
Again, it is not a conspiracy when it is true. Luis?
Hey, I'm Luis Carrazzo, and I'm playing Nathan Marquez, and I am, I think I'm kind of the opposite, where this kind of hit me by surprise. There may have been signs, there may have been warnings, but even if they were put right in front of me, I don't think I took them seriously, and I just kept going on about my normal life. And then here I am in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, trying to put a bat to their head and survive.
Michelle?
Hi, my character name is Bean Lee. I just prefer Bean is cool. So Bean is the medic of the group, but she is not really an upstanding citizen. She's kind of a hoarder, like an organized A-type personality hoarder. So I had a lot of before the turn, I had a lot of stuff in my house, but it was very organized and it was all mine. And so I was always very paranoid. And then I think, when the stuff happened, I similarly was like, I knew it. And I think I was only like maybe a nursing. I'm kind of doing a character discovery thing here. I'm not really sure what my character is about, but I think maybe
that's where we are. That's what we're doing. Yeah,
that's what we're doing.
I feel like I was like a med student, or I just started like my residency or something, but I'm not like a full nurse yet. I kind of just like chickened out. I think that's where I'm at.
And the returning champion, Markia.
Oh, now I'm cursed. I'm Markia McCarty. I'm playing Pharaoh Moore. If you were able to catch the Gen Con Outbreak Day 0, then Pharaoh was one of the people there in Big Box Topia. For those that haven't met her, her mom's named her Pharaoh to remind her and everybody that ran into her that pharaohs were rulers and gender didn't matter, type of a thing. She was, during quarantine before the apocalypse, an IG Live DJ. But in reality, she freelanced just about everything, costume design. She was for a hot moment, she was a hotbox yoga instructor, for instance. So she's pretty handy with a pistol, like with a gun, and then just wild card life skills coming up to bat.
Oh,
B-Dave?
Dave, you're muted.
And I turned off the camera. Hey, look at that. I am a professional. The creature crashes through the window, biting and clawing, and no, I'm messing with y'all. I just hit my camera, turned it off. Everything went terrible, and our Hunters Entertainment production overlords had to fix it all. I would say, hopefully we got it out of the way, but I didn't think it was going to happen the once, so I really cannot guarantee it's not going to happen the twice. So we are playing, Pharaoh, did you? Yes, because I was trying to say something in response to what you were saying about Pharaoh, and that was when I ruined everything. So good. We are playing Outbreak Undead by Hunters Entertainment. I don't know if it's hopefully, hey, it showed up even against the backdrop. Hey. Specifically, we are playing the ZOMBV supplement for the game, which what that is, for the most part, Outbreak Undead is fairly setting agnostic. It could be anywhere. I will tell you, for the point of record, you guys are not in Burbank, California right now. So as I'm describing things, it's not Burbank. This game is, like I said, it is usually very setting agnostic. It can be anywhere, and the Strain series are trying to give more contiguous settings with sort of a compartmentalized world to make it a little easier on the game master to tell your stories. So this is ZOMBV. In this world, the form of zombies that you all are facing are technically still alive. They're not dead, they're infected. And they're essentially infected with a very, 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 very virulent form of Ebola. And that is what is making them do what they do. In this world, it is actually treatable. It is not curable, but it is treatable. I myself pretty much ramp up the speed with which it kicks in just for narrative, dramatic purposes. Getting bitten by a zombie and being like, oh no, I'll be a monster a month from now. That's not really exciting enough. So pending the circumstances under which one of you get infected, there may be something you can do to still save yourself, but only for a time. This game is very crunchy. It is very complex. This game is meant to be a simulation of the real world in a way that other role-playing games are not. So the question I always put to somebody, I'm like, if somebody kicked in the door of your house right now, could you shoot them? Probably. Could you jump over your couch, shoulder roll, come up and shoot 3 people in the head all at once? Probably not. And that's what this game is. You should very much measure along the lines of what could a person really reasonably do. In a world where Jackie Chan exists, yes, some people can do that. Could you parkour up the side of a parking structure and then flip over and then run 500 yards and disarm a bomb? Luis, yes. The rest of us, I don't know. So I will also say, when you play a game like D&D, there is an expectation of success. I mean, characters die, parties get wiped out. But for the most part, if you fight the dragon, it's because you expect to beat the dragon. That is not this game. This world is merciless and unforgiving. These zombies are always dangerous, always. Fighting them, for the most part, is not in your best interest. You should avoid them if you can. If you can't, fight them just enough to get away, which is basically, you guys very much had the right instinct, that when the thing was wounded and distracted, run for it. Because the longer you stay and fight is the longer that there's a chance that you're going to get scratched, that you're going to get infected, that you're going to get bitten, that other ones are going to come along. And if you get hurt, again, it's like the real world. If you break your leg, you got a problem for months. Months. So you have to, that is always things to be mindful of. This is very much a horror survival game more than a horror action game. Does that make sense so far?
Yep.
Yes, Madison.
I think the most important question, what are the ways that you can get infected? Is it just a bite, or is it a scratch, or what are all of the realms that we have to watch out for? What's the no zone?
Fluid transmission. Pharaoh is right. I had in the game that we played on Sunday, there was a Jack Russell Terrier that was covered in infected blood and jumped in someone's lap that wanted kisses and got infected. And that's how they had it. You can get it by being bitten, but it's just anytime it gets in your blood. So like if you get scratched and then someone blows its head off and infected blood sprays all over you, you can get infected like that. Wow. So it's fluid transfer. It also, it can remain on corpses. It can be in the water. It can, I think corpses, water, fluid transmission are the main ways. Yeah.
And how long does the virus last, like in water or
it
like
lasts well, you know what, well, no, I won't make you guys roll. I'll roll because it's only 6 months in. That's the thing. Also,
that's fair. You don't have to tell us.
No, I rolled fantastically. So yeah, these are some things that you know now. About a month. About a month it can remain on a corpse.
Damn.
Yep. And still be infectious.
Wow.
Mechanically, the actual way that you play the game is again, it's a little complex, but once you get it, it's fine. And there's actually 3 different ways to play it. There is what is called arcade mode, which is the very simplest mode, where everything gets pared down to literally a single die roll. Then there is weekend warrior mode, which is just slightly complex, but still very pared down. During there's times that there's like running and gunning and like a lot of insane action and stuff, just for the sake of keeping the action moving. There may be times that I'm like, just roll 1 die and tell me what you get, you know, because if everybody's like pulse is pounding and you're running for your life and you're about like death is imminent, I don't want to be like, okay, so let's get out the book, okay, and we're going to turn to page 161 and we're just going to, you know what I mean? Like I'd rather, you know, so even though our goal is, yes, that I want to show you how to play the game properly, understand that the streamlined speed version is a valid way, especially when you're not trying to get too bogged down by the rules. Then the last way is called survivor mode, which also, side note, you might have noticed my impeccable fingernails. My girls like painting my nails during quarantine. It's something I found that makes them happy. This is where we live now. There's something called survival mode, which is what we will be playing in, which is fairly crunchy. I'm still going to be paring things down. We're going to be doing this over 4 weeks. So as you guys get more comfortable with the rules, I may start introducing added layers of complexity. So you might try something today that I'm like, just roll percentile. And then like next week, I'm like, well, actually roll percentile plus this other thing. And then, you know, even further than that, I'm like, well, now, you know, it's actually this. The genius of this game, and you guys got a little taste of it, is it is not pass fail. It's not D&D in the sense where you hit or you don't. Some DMs, again, will narrate, oh, you wing him, or it's just a flesh wound. But for the most part, you do it or you don't. That's not this game. You have what are called degrees of success and degrees of failure, which I apologize. I'm getting stuffy over here for some reason. I'm getting verklempt. When you roll, like I said, you've got your numbers on your sheet. You want to get under that number. Low numbers are good in this game. You might notice most of the things you can do, you have like a 30-ish% chance of doing. And you might be thinking to yourself, doesn't that mean I'm probably going to fail a lot? Yes. Yes, it does. That is actually why I gave you guys the Outbreak level 2 sheets, because we played with Outbreak level 1 sheets on Sunday, which you should watch the VOD. It was a fantastic game. But those poor people really couldn't do anything. And it just made logical sense to me that if you've survived 6 months of the apocalypse, you're probably fairly capable people. we are using the pre-generated characters at the back of this book, which I myself made for the record. So those are my babies. Also, I'm in this book a couple of times, which is why I have modeling credits. The way it works is let's pick. So let's just do something just as a simulation here, even though we kind of did. I'm going to give you a roll. I'm going to paint a scenario, but your characters aren't actually in any real danger right now. So Pharaoh, we're going to say that you are climbing. You're trying to get up a tree. All of you are trying to get up a tree because you've been overrun by infected. You're trying to climb up the palm tree to get to the next level of a building because the ground is overrun. So all of you make a climb check for me. So again, climb is up near the top under the basic skills. It's on the left-hand side. You want to get under that number.
I almost wish I didn't roll because that was that good of a roll. I got a 0, 0 on the one and 7 on the other. So 7%.
Okay, so how many degrees of success is that for Pharaoh? It's a good start.
For climbing, it's 35%. So
So you're 17, 27. There's still 2 degrees of success.
That's 2.
Because it's not a full other 10%. So we're starting 2 degrees of success. We're starting off on the right foot, literally. Nathan.
I rolled a 40 and my climb is 57. So is that 2 degrees?
That is 1 degree, 40 to 50, but not 50 to 60. So we're still got 3 total degrees of success. We're still doing well here. Okay. Bean.
I rolled a 70 and my percentage is 28.
So that's 38, 48, 58, 68. That is now 4 degrees of failure. So you have taken up all the successes and we're down to 1 degree of failure here. Cool. Okay, it's going to come down to you, Madison.
So like Bean and Madison were at the top and somebody just lost their footing and wiped us all down. That is apparently what happened. I rolled a 57 with a climb skill of 35.
So that's 45. So that's now 3 degrees of failure total. So the way this game works is honestly exactly what you just did, May. Your successes and failures are collaborative. They're a group effort. In the strictest technical sense, Nathan and Pharaoh would have the ability to say, if you so chose, I'm not dying today. You guys are screwed. You know, like I did fine. I'm holding on to the tree. But for the most part, you know, that's not, we try and get each other through all of this. So what you end up with is these degrees of success and degrees of failure are a resource that you spend, and you cannot have more than 5. So it's 5 degrees of failure or 5 degrees of success. You will find there's certain circumstances, especially with weapons, where you have a certain number of successes, you can trigger an effect, something like a headshot. Madison rolled so well against that infected. That's why it's like she shot it through the mouth, killed it instantly, because she actually rolled well enough to qualify as a headshot, right? So, but this is a narrative game, and you guys have a choice. You can tell me what happens where you spend those degrees of failure, or I myself can tell you what happens, and I guarantee I'm gonna do some horrific shit every single time. So, when you talk about failing, it doesn't necessarily mean you fall, although it certainly can. It may be you take too long. It may mean you drop something very important. It may mean that the infected get much closer to you, or maybe catch up to you. You know, you all have the choice to tell me what that failure looks like. So in this situation, you're climbing up the tree. You have a net 3 degrees of failure. You guys tell me what that looks like. How do you go about spending that?
Net 3 degrees of failure. So
I feel like that's sort of my fault. So maybe whatever we're transporting, maybe Madison is correct. I'm at the top. We're climbing this tree. You guys let me go first for some reason. Even though I tell you never to let me do that, I drop. We're getting gasoline. I drop it on you. I knock Madison off. Maybe in the process, the gasoline spills on somebody.
I mean,
2, 3.
Honestly, that's especially since in this case the whole point you went was the gas. The gas is a resource, so having something like you drop the gas and it hits the ground and shatters, and now you have a puddle of gasoline, at the base of the tree that you're on, honestly would probably be enough, because not insignificantly something probably would come along and set it on fire soon. I don't know that.
Oh my god.
But I mean,
Like a
that would
flaming
be-
arrow. Who would do
exactly. Yeah, exactly. What kind of monster would do such a thing,
Wow.
right? So, but that would be the type of thing that I'm like, oh, you're climbing, you're running for your lives. 3 degrees of failure. I dropped the gasoline, which is the only reason we're fucking out here. Boosh. Now you got no gasoline. And you're still on the tree. They're still infected, and like you have to go from there. But that would be a great example. The opposite side might be true, where if you ended up with a net 3 degrees of success, where you might say, oh, well, we did it. We climbed much faster than we should have been able to. And maybe I break some of the branches on my way up, so it's harder for the infected to follow us as they're scrambling up. Like now they can't really get a good handhold, like we've benefited from it. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Oh no, they climb.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
of course they climb.
Do they
Of
run
course they
too?
climb.
They like
Actually,
World
they
War
run really
Z
fast. They're
climb,
much
or,
faster than
like,
you.
Rage climb.
Yes. No, they're still alive. They're not shambling
Right.
undead zombies. No, they're
Right.
much faster than you. Yeah,
Okay.
they're like tripping balls on like ultra rabies is essentially what you're up
Got
against.
it.
Like
Um,
2 days later.
Yep. So that is how it works in broad strokes. You also have what are called you have 2 competency points, which I will remind you over the course of each adventure. So for our purposes, each episode, you have 2 degrees of success that you can spend at any time, but only 2 of them. So if you have something that you very much need to succeed at, maybe you spend them to push it over the top. If you are about to fail, maybe you spend them to make it a little less worse, because even 5 degrees of failure is substantially worse than 3 degrees of failure. Especially, again, and this happened on Sunday, someone was shooting, an NPC was shooting, rolled 5 degrees of failure. And I was like, oh, he shoots at you guys, because he's basically like, because he doesn't know what's going on. You guys rolled a dodge. They rolled 5 degrees of failure on the dodge. I'm like, that's a headshot. You die. Like, you will get shot in the face and killed. So they started lumping together their competency points to bring it down, where it's like, oh, okay, they're still going to get shot and hurt, but they're going to live, so it's that kind of thing. But it is a resource that you only have the 2, so you have to use them carefully and wisely. So everybody understand the degrees of failure and success and how that works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it is the sort of thing also where there's a lot of different ways to narrate it, where Nathan has 5 successes, being the example I used the other day is you're running to the store, the infected have climbed up on the shelves, and the shelves are now collapsing. The shelves about to fall and kill you. One of you rolls. Okay, I got 3 degrees of success to get out of the way. Another one rolls. I got 1 degree of failure, or I got 2 degrees of failure. Again, the one player could very much say, I leave and let them get squashed.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, okay, I push her out of the way. I tackle her out of the way. So I spend 2 of my degrees of success to cancel out her 2 degrees of failure. And with my 1 remaining, we get out of the way. And then I might be like, yes, you make it, but you don't quite get out of the way. The shelf comes down and like janks your ankle up, Now you won't be able to run. Now you have a twisted ankle, that sort of thing. But it is a tool to help us collaboratively tell the story. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Groovy. So the actual dice you need are percentile dice, and you need some D6s. Ideally, if possible, you need 3 different colors of D6s. It's fine if you do not have that, but that is what is ideal. And let me find my placard. For those of you that were fans of We're Alive Frontier that came with us here, I could 2 things. This is my one of my speeches that I gave as Chateau that ended up getting typed up for me that I had to do in ADR. And this is my boy's character sheet. It's still in here. You know, if we ever have a season 3, crossbow death from a distance, you know, he's ready to roll. He's ready to roll. So let me get my little quick start thing, because I tucked it in the book on Sunday, and of course now I can't find it. This was one of the PDFs that I sent you all.
How many D6s? Did you say 3 or 4?
Ideally, you will need a number of them. I said ideally 3 different colors.
Colors, I see.
Like, yo, I legit can't find where that thing is in this book. I'm like, what? No, it's in there. All right, hang on a second, because I do actually need it for this. Let me see. Hang on. Man, good thing I put pants on this time.
I'm just sorting through all of my 7,000 die. I get so
Right.
pleased whenever I can actually use a bunch.
I mean, rightly so.
I just
Also,
printed up my my character sheets, so now I'm doing that.
I have no idea what Past Dave did with this thing, but it is important and I need it. So hang on. Curse him.
Curse him.
I know I'm like the cause of so many of my problems, Past Dave. Is it right here in front of me?
You're
now?
the cause of so many of his. Like,
Oh
past
no,
lives.
no, that's
That was
screw future Dave. I don't care what happens to that guy. It's Past Dave. He's my enemy. Yeah. Well, I have it in here somewhere, but the what you will need is the dice. When you're assembling a dice pool, you are going to roll the percentile dice, and then you're going to add some other dice based on what it is that you are trying to do. Oh, there it is. Boom, perfect. Also, I'm like, wait, was he trying to show me something important? Is that why I marked that skill? It's like Lassie with Past Dave. What is it, boy? What are you trying to show me? I don't know if this is going to show up with the backdrop here. Oh, it didn't. Cool, no problem. The way that you will assemble your dice pool is you're always going to roll percentile, always. You're going to roll a number of speed dice. If you have that quick start thing, it says this across the top. The speed dice are what dictate when you go. That's this game's initiative system.
Okay.
So given weapons, add more speed dice to what you're trying to do. If you try and take multiple actions, that is how the speed dice work. If everything, when you roll the speed dice, if the number totals up to 24 or more, you do not act that turn.
Wow.
So if you're trying to do something very complicated, it just may not happen as the battle is like raging around you while you're like trying to do whatever it is that you're doing. If you have red dice, those are the damage dice. Again, you can pick whatever color you want, just have it in your own mind. These are my damage dice. When I refer to them, I will probably refer to them as red dice or blue dice or white dice or whatever. But that's what that is for damage. Black dice are difficulty dice. That is something that I will define for you. Again, sometimes it comes with the weapon. You know, some weapons are inaccurate, and so they might do a lot of damage, but you add more difficulty dice to it. Or I might be like, they're behind cover, or they're moving really fast, or it's raining or something, and that's, I'll give you the difficulty dice that you add in. And the last one is the white dice for depletion, which is how you account for your ammo. What ends up happening is I will tell you when you need to add another white die to see if you run out. So like, let's say you've got a Glock that has 11 bullets in it, right? I'll be like, take one die, roll it, you know? And if you roll under 11, which you're going to on one die, most likely, I'll come back to that in a second, you don't run out of bullets. Then I'm like, now here's the second one, because you've been using it for a while. You roll again, and the total is 5. You still haven't run out of bullets, no problem. Then you roll again, and you get to 11, gun's empty. You follow me?
Mhm.
That's how we keep track of ammunition. So even though this is very much a game where the fact that you've got one clip matters, It's not so granular that you have to count 11 bullets. But the flip side to that, though, is you might use it once, roll terribly, it's empty. Maybe you shot more times than you thought when you were pulling the trigger. Maybe it wasn't fully loaded to begin with. Who can say? But the dice say it's empty now. You got no more bullets. Follow me?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So that's how that works. Those are the... Now, this is, and again, yes, please.
About arrows. It's very hard to accidentally pull the trigger on multiple arrows at a time. Is that still like a same thing? Because it's firearms in general, right?
It's absolutely, no, it's still a thing with your arrows. Maybe you dropped some. Maybe they were broken.
Some are broken.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
some are broken. You know, it's the exact same principle. Yep. This game is what is called an exploding dice system. So what that means is when you roll a d6, if you get a 6, it still counts as 5, but you roll it again. So you'll never get more than 5 on the die. If you roll a 6, like right now I got a 6, so that's 5. I rolled it again and actually got the 5 on the die. The total is 10.
Ah.
You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
So much so, if you have the special Outbreak Undead dice, they don't even have a 6. They have a 5 and an exclamation point next to it to remind you that you should roll it again and add that to the total. Which again happened to the detriment of one of the players on Sunday, the same one that I said brought down the damage enough that they wouldn't get their head blown off. I rolled very high on the damage, and quite frankly, it still should have been enough to kill them, but I was like, we're only like 20 minutes into the game.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's quick. Death comes very fast in this game. Yeah, so that's that. It was helpful actually kind of throwing you guys into it. Let's talk a little bit about the pre-generated characters. Let me just say one other thing. As you're looking at the placard thing, yours might look slightly different than mine because I have a slightly different edition. But this thing, the quick start thing that I said keep handy.
Mm-hmm.
As you notice down at the bottom of it, which would probably be good if I pulled it up myself. I thought I was all ahead of the game here. Boom. All right, I'm pulling up the one I sent you so that I could look at it. This is the player placard for Outbreak Undead, you all. It is, I don't know where you all can get it. I think you might be able to like buy it separately. I highly recommend it though. It does keep things simple. If you notice, it's got the little key there of what all these dice mean and what all the symbols mean and all of those things. Down at the bottom, there are some things where it's like, aim, for instance. If you say that you take the time to aim, like Madison said when we were at the top, you add another die of damage, but you also add another die of speed, which if you think about it, it makes sense. Like I'm gonna try and hit him somewhere squishy, so it's gonna hurt worse, but it's gonna take longer because I'm like, bang, you know? There's things like, let me look at another example here. Crushing someone, you know, or actually a headshot. That is a very good example. A headshot for most things, unless it's a very accurate weapon, you need 5 degrees of success to say I shoot them in the head. But if you do, it does a ton more damage because again, in real life, a bullet in the head, you're out of the fight, whoever you are, right? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But that's what dictates that sort of thing. So when you're like, I want to shoot them in the face, maybe you aim, then you roll, hopefully you get enough successes, and you do. And if you don't get enough successes, then you don't, because they have the ability to dodge and things just like you do. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the same thing would be like kneecaps.
Mm-hmm.
Would be okay.
Mm-hmm. Exact same thing.
Alt shot, basically.
Yep, same thing. And also when you just get to the point that you're spending your successes in combat, you can always spend successes for more damage, always. But there may be a time that you roll and you get for degrees of success, and I'm like, you tell me what happens, and you're like, can I shoot him in the knee? Like, yeah, you can, because that's a good, you spend the successes there too. You just always have the option of just doing damage. Cool. Again, I realize all of this is a lot, which is why I wanted to be able to like take some time and discuss it. And at any point during this, if you have questions, that is cool. Like, don't feel bad about it, because it is a lot to take in. Like I said, I think as long as you're like everything you're trying to do, you run it through the filter of like real life, like real life, you pretty much will have it right. I'm looking and making sure that I explained at least the basics of everything here. I think I did. Wait, did you have a question there, sir?
No.
No. Okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were trying to get my attention.
No.
Yeah, you do have things you can do, like, and that's kind of useful for the little things down here at the bottom of the placard are things like dodging, disarming, total dodging, reloading when you run out of ammo, and all of those things, are all important. But the way that it basically is going to work is, again, we have an intent phase. You tell me what you want to do. Then we'll have a check phase. We will roll the dice, and that is where we will get our successes and failures. And then in the resolution, we spend those successes and failures. If it's net positive, something good happens. If it's net negative, something bad happens. And that's basically it. Cool.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. Again, I'm dealing with pros. Now, that being said, even though we're only an hour in, I won't take the break yet, but we still need to talk about your characters. That's important. Who you all actually are. So we are using the pre-generated characters here in the back of the book. Now, the ones here in the book are split into 3 different categories. They are Outbreak level 1 characters, which is, again, what we played in the game at Gen Con. It just happened. You're whoever you were in the world, you knew what you knew. They are Dora, who is roughly a medic. There is Catherine, who is roughly close combat, and there is Timothy, which is roughly ranged combat. Even you might notice we have 3 pre-generated characters, and we have 4 players, which is fine. I told them not to sweat at all which character they were picking, because, again, based on your character and your choices you make, and quite frankly, the dice, they're still going to come across as vastly different people. So, Michelle, which one of these did you pick for Bean?
I picked Dora, so I'm the medic, and I'm like super squishy though, so I cannot fight, but I can heal.
I mean, she's not terrible with a gun. She's not awful.
Wait, how can I tell that I have
a under the trained skill checks on the side? Actually, she's great at first aid. I was about to say she's really great. I'm like, oh, that's first aid. So the skills in the game are split between basic skills, trained skills, and expert skills. Since you all didn't make your characters, that doesn't really matter. But the basic skills are just things that everybody can do. Trained skills, again, you have to be, it is harder to do unless you've had some training. Expert skills, you can't even try without training. That's the difference between those 3 things.
So what does the little number in the left-hand side next to the percentage mean? So
that is when experience points have been spent to raise that skill. You keep track of it there. You still want to roll under the total on the right.
Got it.
But it is, you can see where things, it's called advancing your skills in this game.
That's the calculation on that side.
And it just when you quickly skim the sheet, you can be pretty sure that anything that has a number in that left-hand column is something they're good at. Because like experience have expressly been spent on doing the thing. You follow me?
Yeah, got it.
That's why like a significant amount has been spent on her first aid. She's really good at first aid. Yeah. She's a good medic. Okay. Now, as Bean is coalescing in your mind, is there anything else you want to tell us about her as she's coming to life here? You know what? I'm going to super ambush all of you.
Oh, man.
And Pharaoh's getting off kind of easy with this one. Where were you on the first day of the outbreak, and how did you survive it?
Well, let's see. I already stated that I'm a failed medical student, nursing student. I was like thinking about dropping out maybe. I was in my home surrounded by all of my precious, glorious things. I had my living room was just like, it's just shelving everywhere. Like even on the ceiling, there's like hanging shelving to keep all of my potato chip bags that I won't throw away, and the I don't know, staples assorted by size with the staplers next to them and that kind of thing. And I'd been keeping track of the situation sort of via the news. I knew something weird was going on, so I started to hoard more. And I think when the outbreak happened for real, maybe like one of my neighbors came by to check on me, because Bean does not take care of herself very well. So she can take care of other people, but not herself. So my neighbors always check up on me. They came over, they're screaming, they're freaking out. I kind of join with that group, those neighbors maybe, and we kind of make our way to the what was it called? The Coopco? Coopco?
Coopco.
I almost I got it. But the whole way there, I'm fighting back about going. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's fine. I can just go back to my house and I just got to get a few more things. I need a few more things. So I'm really obsessed with like having things, keeping them on me, keeping them organized. But I survive because I'm so organized and I know where to get things, I guess. Like maybe I'm resourceful in that way. And because I do have some medical skill and I've learned more as I've been out here, people kind of take care of me a little bit. And that's kind of how I've survived, I think.
And what does Bean look like?
What do I look like? I don't have a lot of time to think about this. I'm short. I'm like a little hunched over. So like maybe I'm 5'3" in real life, but I'm kind of like more like 5'1" or like 5'0" when I'm kind of walking around. I don't talk like this. I'm working on that. I have just like my hair is really long down to my back. I keep it in a braids. I don't like to cut it because I don't want to mess with it, and I don't want it short because it'll get in my face. So it's just like one big long braid down my back. I wear really like boring, like whatever clothes, like all gray or all like whatever color, like whatever I can find that kind of matches. Because I'm A-type personality, I need to be top and bottom the same color. So green, blue, whatever I can find.
I mean, girl, same.
Yeah. What else?
Got to coordinate.
I think I'm probably only like 20, like 25, I want to say 24, 25. And where is Coopco, or what state are we in? What city are we playing?
We're not Burbank, California.
Got it. Okay, so we are somewhere in California. Yeah, maybe I traveled here from like San Jose or somewhere. I don't know. I've never been there. So yeah, I'm a West Coast person, but I'm not an outdoor person, so I've not seen a lot of the world.
No, that is perfect. And again, this is all, we're all filling this in real time. And since I absolutely ambushed Michelle, I'm gonna give May and Luis actually slightly easier go of this, because I'm gonna detour slightly to Pharaoh, because even though we know how Pharaoh survived the first day, there's still some things that we can talk about her. One of the things we did get across is on day one, the news that there was a very virulent form of Ebola had started to spread, and the word was kind of on the waves that there might be another quarantine, but by then everybody was sort of old hat at quarantine. That is why they were at Big Boxtopia, to buy the things. Oh, okay, we're gonna lock down again. All right, now it's Ebola. Okay, so people were taking it seriously, but not holy shit, this is the end of all things seriously. Like everybody was caught relatively flat-footed by that part of it. So Pharaoh, we saw, survived day one inside Big Boxtopia through her wits and very quickly relying on a group of strangers to get through that day in particular. I won't say exactly how, because who knows, in the fullness of time, maybe we will return to visit the sequence of events of how you actually got out of the store. but you got out of the store, and now 6 months have passed. So I will ask you, what's Pharaoh been up to in the intervening time from when she got out of there to now? What's Pharaoh's life been like?
Okay. Pharaoh has, well, for like a little background on her, she moved into town with her mom's in high school, so is not native, but has been here about 10 years, 10, 11 years now, and knows her way around and about. Had tried numerous jobs in the service industry, did not work well for her. She just like, no, just socially awkward. She speaks through her creative stuff more than she did with anything else, but because of that, she has all the odd jobs while she was finding herself. After day 1 up to now, we're like, what, day 60 or something like that?
We're
So
about
like,
6 months in. I'll say we'll jump.
I'm sorry.
We'll jump ahead a ways that
Okay.
you all you all
Okay.
have established a decent stronghold at Coopco, a decent rotation. Yeah.
Whew.
Right. Okay. So like when we met her in like day 1, she was extremely stylish, for what she had spent her money on, the money that she could get together to then like buy her one designer shades, to have her nice phone that was also her livelihood. Since then, she originally had like purple dreads with like a shaved side. Now it's all one length, like it's been 6 months. You still see purple tips, but it's like her dark hair, and then like this neonish purple tips is going on, except for on this side because this was the shaved side. But she's still been like nicely dreading her hair. For that, she's taller than me, and I'm average height, so we're gonna say she's like 5'7". Is that tall? That's probably not tall. To me, it's tall.
I mean,
She's like,
again, I wrecked the scale on that. So yes, she's tall to you.
yeah. So she's like 5'7", and she's fitter than she's ever been in her life. Like she was a little bit fit before, but she was getting like quarantine bod, if that's the thing, but not like the kind that other people get, more just like, well, we're here, kind of a quarantine bod. But yeah, now she's got the fit going on. And whenever she can, she tries to put purple somewhere in her ensemble. So it's like kind of like comforting for her and in some way. So you'll see that with like a fatigue like jacket. She'll always have like a snazzy backpack though. She always has that. And from Big Boxtopia, the reason why she had gone there she went to get like a limited edition collapsible selfie stick that was like very, like titanium steel collapsible selfie stick. She still has that as her slashing damage thing. So that's like her thing. So yeah, but that's
the world's first riot selfie stick.
Is there something else I should say for where she was then and where she is now? She always tries to stay with groups. She doesn't want to go alone.
No, makes sense. Excellent. And which one of these pre-gens, full disclosure, we are changing Pharaoh to a different one because now we're moving to an Outbreak level 2 sheet other than what she was using at level 1. Which one of these pre-gens are you choosing?
I'm going with Timothy. He's a long range type of person that I chose him because he's got a little bit of scattering and everywhere. Weekend warrior, volunteer. So I was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
And it makes sense having seen what you saw. You had the highest handgun skill even then. It makes sense. You've been working on it since. Which that is the bizarre catch-22 of these times, that everybody knows they need to practice to get better, but also bullets are in short supply. So you have to be careful there. Also, one thing I wanted to say, if you notice, especially for those of you that have these expert skills down at the bottom, you notice a lot of them are things like 7% chance, the 9% chance, stuff like that. It does not mean that you only have a 9% chance to succeed in those skills. Again, it just may take longer than you mean it to. Or if you're trying to build something, you may succeed, but you waste some materials along the way, type thing. It is not just that every time like Timothy has what I don't know if that's a 7 or a 9%. Now I'm half blind, and I think that number's supposed to be a 7. Roughly a 7. Oh, it is a 7, definitely, because it's a combination of 2 of the above skills. Where you have a 7% chance at advanced medicine, for instance, where that doesn't mean that literally 93% of the time you'll kill someone, because I feel like we all pretty much have that now. Like, I feel like now I have a 7% chance to safely remove like an appendix, because there's a 93% chance I won't. I feel like that's me here today.
But that's 7% though,
Yeah, right. Clutch. Yeah. So if we're ever in a time where you have to rely on those expert skills, don't look at it and be like, oh no, I shouldn't even try because I'm terrible,
Wait, how can you beat that 7% then? Like, how could she
roll under it? But I mean, but if
just
you
keep-
think about it, statistically, that's still only 1 degree of success possible, because you could only you'd have to roll 1 through 6. So it is not quite that bad. Let me just point that out. It's not quite that bad. I'm like, the odds are long, but they're not that long. Okay. All right. No, I think we're good on Pharaoh there, because again, we know how you survived day 1. Now between the last 2, you know what? I will give the choice to the lady. May, would you rather do it now, or do you want Louise to go first and you go second?
I'll go ahead.
Okay.
I can see why not. Yeah, so Madison Martell is my character. She grew up kind of a tomboy. She had brothers, kind of a bit of the doomsday preppery type. Some of them were in the military. When the outbreak happened, she was actually up in the woods. They had kind of like a little haven up there, not like a fort or anything, just like a cabin where they would do things and do shooting practice and stuff like that. So most of it was heard on the radio. So she survived in that case mostly by luck, and has since then traveled into the city mostly for supplies, which I assume is when she ran into these fine folks.
Perfect. What does Madison look like?
She is a she's swole, she built, she lifts. She got some thighs. She usually is wearing a like hip length duster. She's got a lot of pockets, and she does have fingerless gloves on that kind of help her keep her hands from like getting all worn out from holding onto the bow and getting blisters and stuff. She thinks it helps her aim. She usually has her hoodie pulled up, but she does have very kind of matted hair that just kind of sticks out. Like, it's not bad, it's not unhealthy, it's just you can tell that she has gotten to the point where she's like, why bathe today? I'm just going to be covered in a ton of crap tomorrow. We'll deal with it then.
It's like nature is healing. And which one of the pre-gens are you using for Madison?
I also went with Timothy, but he has a very high stat for the handguns, and I actually swapped that out with the bow skill because I wanted her to be more of an archer than a shooty gunny person.
Perfect. All right. And last but certainly not least, who is Nathan Marquez?
Hey, Nathan Marquez. So I figured wanted to kind of riff a little bit on what some of the people were doing. I going on with what I had said earlier. I think that Nathan definitely was not expecting this. I think that Nathan was having a party the day that this all went to hell, and uh, I like I like sibling rivalries and stuff. So I want to throw this in here. I think that Nathan definitely grew up athletic. Definitely grew up like as a on the wrestling team, and has a brother very close in age, and they had a healthy but sometimes not healthy sense of competition. But my brother, which we will name him, uh, let's name him, uh, uh, let's name him Jake, Nate and Jake. How about that? So he was always a little bit better than me, kind of at everything. So, but that also elevated a lot of what I was able to do. I feel like we're having a big party. We're having a big party when this went down, and no one in my circle, in my family, and my friends, we maybe were taking it seriously at some point, but then we stopped, let our guard down, and this came as a complete surprise. And I kind of see that like we're having a house party, and all of a sudden, like there's like a wave that kind of comes for us, or maybe someone there like turns, like kind of right in front of us, has been getting sick and sicker, but we just sort of were in denial about it. So, yeah, and I can see that like I think that I sort of imagine I would be the kind of person that would drunk as fuck, like at some point when everyone is trying to get away, I'd get like the people that I care about in a car and send them away, stay behind to try to fight these things off, but then we end up realizing that these things are better than we are. And I probably got into whatever other car there was, maybe with my brother, and then blacked out because we were trashed. We were partying, and probably ended up with these guys because we maybe crashed on the road heading in the direction where they were, and someone from this place found us, and that's how we ended up here, still very drunk.
Important point of clarification: is Jake still alive?
I'm gonna say that when I came to, he was gone, and I don't know. I don't know where he's been the last 6 months.
I'm sure that will in no way re-enter the narrative at a dramatically appropriate moment.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Then I will just say, near the apocalypse, afterwards, there was not a lot of places that you could go that were safe. And the reason why Coopco became a stronghold is this one was empty and was in the process of being renovated to turn into apartments because they built a new, much bigger Coopco just a couple of miles down the road. The reason why the mall is no man's land is it was absolutely packed with people, and by extension is now crawling with infected. Coopco was a big place that people could get in. It was already segmented and set up for like lots of people to be able to stay there relatively safely. And so soon a handful of survivors made their way there, and a little bit of a community has set up since. There are apparently 76 people that live here, so the dice have dictated, including you all. So having to go out on food runs and things of that nature is becoming fairly common. But you all have amassed your resources where you have a not insignificant stockpile. You don't necessarily really have to fear starvation tomorrow, but nobody has any illusions about the fact that you also can't stay here indefinitely. But at least as of yet, the defenses have held. Right now, the woman in charge is a person by the name of Sarah Knowlton. She doesn't really talk too much about who she was or what she did before the outbreak, but her leadership has proven smart. That her tactics of when you should attack, when you should retreat, you know, where you could go and scrounge. She seems like she's just kind of had a good nose for this thing, and she's managed to keep people's heads on their shoulders, which you all respect. Again, you all were tasked with going out ranging for gasoline and have made your way back to the enclave for the evening. And I think, unless anybody has anything else they want to add, anybody want to say anything? Anything else popped into your head about your characters that you want to put out there right now?
I think Pharaoh's moms are in this compound. I mean, after 6 months, I think they would have found each other, and they're there somewhere, probably helping in the cafeteria where the Kupko meatballs can still be served.
Exactly. Like you all were able to definitely liberate some of the supplies from the new Kupko, and maybe even got lucky and found a few bags of things in the freezers here that hadn't quite been shipped out yet. So yeah, they're helping there. Anybody else want to add anything about their families? Anything else? People that are here?
I think I probably made. I feel like I would have made some friends. Like I want to see where there's the beer. I'm trying to keep this life as normal as possible. So if there's like someone having a beer and just chilling, I'm gonna go there. So my family's not here.
Right.
I'm the only one that made it here.
Got it. Madison.
Likewise for Madison, when she did get separated from her group, she has not made it back to her family when she met this bunch. There's been, I'll leave it up to storyteller's discretion what it is that kept her away from going back to her retreat.
Nothing good. Yeah, we'll put an asterisk next to the Martell clan. All right.
Oh.
And being the people that you ran with, are they here? Did you lose touch with them? Like,
I feel like they're there. They're not my family. They were like my neighbors. My real family, I want to say I'm estranged from them just because like I got too weird for everybody. Like, I don't know, maybe my family all lives like in, let's pick a state, San Jose. We live in San Jose, but we don't talk anymore. I don't know if they're still up there or not. And I'd say the family that the people who came and helped me are still they're at the Kupko.
Kupko. The Kupko's in the sewers under the Kupko.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, don't eat those mushrooms though. Yeah. By this point in the outbreak, a lot of the infrastructure is starting to collapse. There's still a power grid, but the cellular networks are basically non-existent. AM radio, ham radio is still a largely reliable way to communicate over long distances. You still have like some handheld radios and things of that nature. A lot of stuff is already having to be used by generators and solar power, because although the grid is still functional, it has become erratic because it has been unmanned for about 6 months. And every time you all have sent a team over to investigate the state of the power station, they have not returned. And with that, knowing that you all have made it back from your mission from the night, which surely will be the last thing that you will be called upon to do, that is a good place for us to take a little break. So we'll do a quick 10 and we will come back and dive into a silky smooth and uneventful adventure of Outbreak Undead ZOMBV. Be right back. I wish you guys could see Michelle's face every time we're getting counted in, and I'm like, great, die gloriously. She's always like, wait, what? And then like,
I didn't set up for this. I wanted to have fun, goddammit.
You have come to the wrong place.
That's what I've heard.
Like, if you are looking for justice, you have come to the wrong place. I will say this one last thing before we dive into it in earnest, and I think this is what you will find, and we got a taste of it on Sunday. This game is heartbreaking and soul crushing at times, and you were on your heels almost all the time. But when you get those moments that the dice fall right and you need them to, and you succeed when it matters, it feels so good. So much more than in some other games, because basically you have worked for literally every fucking inch that you get. With that being said, we return now to your haven here. What is it called, by the way? It was Coopco. Now it is a small community of survivors banded together against the onrushing inevitability of the zombie plague. What do you call this place that you all now call home?
I call it Fort Apathy, but I don't know. They might call it something else.
I call it the better place.
Okay. Fort Apathy, the better place. Nathan?
I just call it the toy box.
The toy box? Okay. Bean?
Why do we have to all call it something different? First of all, you guys.
Just the box.
I call it the box because it looks like a box. Feels like a box. It's box.
It's Fort Box. That's it.
Fort Box.
It's Fort Box. Yep.
Box.
Some people say it is rumored that it was Toy Box or Apple Box. Nobody's quite sure what kind of box was in it, but it's Fort Box. As you all rush back through, as rehearsed many times, they slide the reclaimed metal in front of it. You hear that right outside. You see men and women running down to the front doors, holding a machine gun, shotguns, rifles, deer rifles to the front. And you see Knowlton just hold her hand up. And she's like, no. Save your bullets. They're not going to get through here tonight, I hope. You know, they'll get bored and wander away. They always do. Did you all get the fucking gasoline? You know, were I a less merciful storyteller, I would say the dice said you dropped it, Bean, but we're gonna give it another roll here to see.
That was practice, and you said it was practice.
That's true. A deal is a deal. I said it was practice. There is expressly foraging, and you see how to simulate that. I'm going to let you all, again, we'll do this collectively. You can give me navigation, which is under the train skills, right-hand side. Navigation. Everybody roll navigation. I will tell you in advance if you end up failing, you might still have gotten some. So we'll see. How successful was this foraging run? We're about to find out.
I got 14 out of 43.
Okay, so that's 24, 34. That is 2 degrees of success. Okay, so we're already 2 in the positive.
Where's navigation again?
Under the train skills, so the middle section, right-hand side.
I got 42% out of 52.
So again, that's another degree of success. So Nathan, that face concerns me.
I got a 50 out of 45.
So with the degrees of failure, when you're less than 10% over, that is actually still a push. That is the one thing this game very much does in your favor, is that. So that's actually nothing. That's just a push. Also, let me say, especially since we have some of the creators of the game watching us right now, even though I've done this a few times and I played it a lot, I do not have an encyclopedic knowledge of the game. So there might be times I misspeak or mess something up that I will try and fix later on. Like I said, sometimes I'm just trying to streamline it to keep it moving. Sometimes I just do pro things like turn my camera off. So I too, in life, am spending a number of degrees of failure and success here. But yes, so far we're 3 positive. How'd you do, Madison?
21 is what I rolled, and my skill is 52.
So 21 to 31, 41, 51. That the most you can have is 5. So that is 5 degrees of success. So this is supreme success. You guys tell me what happened. Realistically, there were the 4 of you just on foot, but you succeeded really well. You guys tell me what you brought back.
I know Madison probably grabbed as much as she could, so there's probably a bunch of mismatched like water bottles that are like filled in jugs that are kind of like tied to her that are just filled up with as much as possible. So she just like kind of opens her jacket like someone selling watches, and there's just inside pockets of water bottles of gasoline.
I put down 2 different jugs, and I say to our boss, I say, take your pick, unleaded, super unleaded, and then just walk right past.
I pull a jar that was for cheesy puffs, and it's full of gasoline, and I put it on the ground. All right, here's, I don't know, gas. Here you go. And you can see that my fingers and my face are just all orange from cheesy poofs that I've eaten.
Pharaoh comes up, and she's definitely wearing a purple jacket that she found. Looks pretty fly, but also utilitarian. Like this isn't a designer jacket. This is just like a real cool purple jacket that could have some extra pockets in it. She puts down a jug in front of Sarah and goes, "Or diesel," and then walks away.
I'm also gonna say, with that much success, you guys also managed to scavenge some other, like some knickknacks, some snacks, some candy bars.
Oh yeah.
Maybe even with 5 degrees of success, I would say between you a single pack of smokes that might be used to barter things.
Any booze? Can we get? Did we pick up?
You know what? I'm gonna say you were able to grab. I'm thinking in my head where you had salvaged and what you reasonably could have gotten. I'm gonna say you, Nathan, managed to get a full-blown 40 of just like Mad Dog, though.
Yes.
Just swell, like it's paint remover.
Super duper unleaded.
Yeah. That's why it was still there. But yeah, you managed to snake that as well. And you think as you guys kind of put this down and you line up the bottles in front of you, Knowlton just looks down and she nods and she's just like, that is a goddamn beautiful sight. You all you might have brought the welcome wagon home with you, but at least you did what I asked you to, and that's proud of you as always. And she looks towards you, Madison, and she extends a hand. She's like, I saw that shot. Very nice.
A lot of training in the woods, deer, bear, and now apparently undead things too.
You know, all that deliverance shit comes in handy from time to time. Yeah, no, you guys go wash up. We will take care of this. You know, it's weird. They left all those electric cars in the parking lot at the end times. We ran into some looters and things at the beginning before they realized none of that mattered. But we still got some of them down in the parking decks underneath, and some of the other vehicles we were able to reclaim. This will be really helpful. We'll be able to range further now, maybe pick up some more supplies, maybe have a chance to get out of here if we need to evacuate. Oh, Bean, check back with me later. I got something I think you might want to see. But
okay, I hope it's stuff.
Yeah, Bean, you do know in this new world that we find ourselves in, we kind of got to pool our resources for like the good of survival of the human race, right?
Yep, definitely doing that. I'm like kind of trying to hide, like my pockets are really full of just junk. Important
question, because she just rolled fairly well on her detect motive.
Okay. My pockets are full of like jelly bellies and just like all this candy that I taken from our scavenging from earlier. And I'm just trying to keep them for myself.
Bean sort of like stands there and there's the faint crinkle, of the candy in her pockets. You see, Knowlton takes a step towards you and she says, I only asked you to bring back the fuel, so whatever you scavenge, that's all on you. You risk your necks. The least you could do is get a cold one out of it. Although, careful, Nathan, that shit'll blind you. But
that's what I want.
but Bean, you're a wizard with the first aid, but there's more to this than just you. Okay, just that's all I'm saying.
Yep. I lick the cheesy puff dust off my fingers.
She's like, she's like, we don't know all the ways that the virus is transmitted. Okay, maybe not licking the fingers. Maybe don't. Okay. She does like visibly take a step back from Bean, and she's like, Pharaoh, if she starts acting hinky, you know what to do.
I usually just throw some more knickknacks at her for her to, it's better the devil type of a deal.
Right. Yeah.
Look,
Well,
all I have to say is if cheesy poofs are going to kill us, this is a world I don't want to live in anyways.
it's not the cheesy poofs, it's the finger licking. You know what? No, we're
Well, I thought
hey,
we're not supposed to let anything go to waste. That's like
d-
powdery goodness on those
Cheese
fingers.
dust.
yes, we're doomed. No, the human race is doomed. Great. Pharaoh, your moms, they said to let you know that they were cooking up a mess of something. I don't know what that means. They seemed enthusiastic though, so maybe check in. You guys get a bite to eat. Maybe get in some rack time, because it's gonna be a busy day.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Naughton. You want us to save you a plate?
Always. And she just looks down and she's like, all right, let's get this stuff downstairs. We gotta literally warm up the welcome wagon. And they're just like, sir, yes, sir. Pick it up and like walk away. As you guys make your way in to the reclaimed Coop Co., it's actually fairly late. It's about 10 p.m., but you all are on a 24-hour active cycle now. The infected very much are capable of coming out in the daytime. They just mostly come at night. Mostly. So something is pretty much going on around the clock. And you see, again, of the 76 souls that live in here, some people there's not a lot of time of just complete and total inactivity, because one of the first things you guys learned after the infection hit is that when you stop doing something is when the thoughts kind of tend to catch up to you. So people are always somewhere trying to do something industrious. And each of you have been rewarded. Wow, I just have all these hot rolls all of a sudden. Have been rewarded over time for your contributions to the cause here with your own rooms. One of the things that Coop Co. was famous for back in its heyday was showing how much modern living efficiency could be squeezed into the kingly space of 600 square feet. You all have some of the VIP sections here. Knowlton's got one of the 800 square feet ones, and there's only a handful of those, and mostly the most hallowed elders are there. You guys are rocking 500 to 600s now, each of you. Most of the people, however, are racked out on couches, and everybody just sort of understands. It's like, the third one from the left is mine type thing. And as you make your way through here, through a setting not completely unlike what is behind Pharaoh there, but nowhere near as pristine anymore, you do see the racks of tables and couches and things where people have just kind of tried to make their own way of things. A lot of people have managed to reclaim something like a little like foot locker thing like that to keep their stuff in. For the most part, theft isn't really a thing, because the first few people that got caught doing things, Knowlton punished excessively. Not the least of which is there was the guy that got caught stealing medication that got slathered in raw meat and thrown outside, and everybody watched what happened to him. After that, respect for one another's property definitely increased. So while not anybody kind of just like flaunts what they have, for the most part, you leave your stuff under your mattress, you expect to find it under your mattress when you come back. So as you are making your way back in here, Nathan, in your area, what does your room look like? Did you keep it the same Coop Co. aesthetic? Have you changed it around? Like what's your spot like?
I mean, it's just whatever it was before, plus like an extra blanket. Like, I don't care if it was I don't care if it was flowers. I don't care if it was dinosaurs. Like, as long as it's comfortable and as long as it's, decent, then it's whatever it is. So I think like I got a little like sort of a setup that was so nothing like what I had growing up. It was like just sort of very Leave It to Beaver y kind of like such a generic white picket fence kind of idea of something that I can't even find words for. But so I look at that and I'm just like, whatever. I see a blanket, I see a pillow, I see a bed, and that doesn't even nothing. What it does have is like whatever objects I have, whatever clothes or whatever, it's like on a pile right next to it, and then some of it on it. So it's just not messy. The bed has never been made since I've been there. It's just all scattered crap. Hodgepodge.
You do notice as you come back, your clothes have been cleaned. That was one of the first things Knowlton did, is decontamination of the Rangers when you guys go out. So like the stuff that you sort of threw in a pile is all back and neatly folded. Madison, I think you wanted to say something a second ago. I missed it. What were you going to say, Madison?
Oh, yeah. When we left the gasoline, I did not leave it all. I still kept 2 water bottles of it with me. That's from like 8 minutes ago. Yes, but yes, that was what I wanted to say. So I still do have two bottles that I can use, that if we either run out of gas in emergency or, make things go boom.
Clutch Molotov to pocket fuel. Yep. What does Madison's area look like to her room? Same thing. Was it Coop Co realness? Have you changed it around? Like what has she done with it?
There are a lot of like wrappers around of things that you could tell is like just also mostly like convenience food and junk food and things like that. Just all kind of like scrambled together. Some of it's like half eaten. There's like books of like different things, like magazines that it looks like she's kind of like fiddled through, but it's all like really odd and weird stuff. And a lot of notebooks, a lot of like writing and sketching, and her handwriting, if anyone tries to read it, is absolute chicken scratch. So it's very difficult to tell what her madness ramblings are going on about in there.
As you all are making your way in, and Nathan and Madison are about to kind of peel off to their places, you guys hear giggling. Shh, you ask him. No, you ask him. No, shh, no, you ask him. I asked him last time. No, shh. No, but like, no, they're probably like tired and stuff. Yeah, but you gotta ask right now. They're gonna eat it all. You know, Bean will eat it all. Okay. Hello?
Who hears this?
You all do.
What?
The hell is that?
From behind one of the couches, you see a small head come up, which you all know is a little boy named Anthony, a once and future soccer star. Like, he tends to run messages around the place, and his sister Ophelia, which Ophelia is the unofficial spy of the place, because everybody caught on to the fact that she was an unusually gifted, nosy girl, but she tended to be right about things. And like, did you all by chance come across anything snack related?
No.
Arrow just looks over at Bean.
I offer them some of the liquor.
Anthony's like, whoa, don't mind if I do, my good sir. And of course, he's like 12.
I'm gonna let him smell it just to see how cringy he gets.
He's like, oh, I think that might have begun to turn, Nathan. I think that might be better used to attract the undead. Oh, are you really gonna drink that?
So
my god. Oh, but I can
so
smell so much clearer now. Oh, but you stink so bad. Oh, I deeply regret all of this.
Kinds of snacks, I guess.
Yeah, Pharaoh is just full on looking at Bean right now. Just kind of like,
What?
Madison's gonna try and take an arrow tip to try and like scoop up one of the like candy bars out of Bean's pocket and flick it towards the kids.
Hold on, this has to be contested roll.
Oh yes. Oh yes. It's contested. I know, right? I know. You're like Bean shoots her. Here we go. PvP. Pow pow pow.
Oh,
Now Madison's dead.
All right. Let's see what that would be. Let me see what the right contest would be. I'm gonna say, Madison, give me your stealth versus Bean spot listen. Let's just see if you even notice, Bean. Right hand side under basic skills.
I got 63 out of 43.
So 2 degrees of failure. Let's see, Madison.
I also got 2 degrees of failure because I got 62 out of 45.
So we stab each other.
I'm gonna say, Madison, you do it and you slide it and you lose it. Pap. Just a candy bar just slaps the floor, Bean, and everybody hears it, including you, Bean.
Pharaoh's gonna grab it real quick before Bean can get it.
Why is my team like this? I don't understand.
You know, I'm gonna let you guys do a simple speed contest, just a straight up D6. Both of you roll a D6. Whoever the low numbers are good. So whoever gets the lower number goes fast. Roll it, Bean. Roll a D6.
Oh, okay.
She got a 4.
6.
She just Bean, your eyes narrow in on it and you move, but Pharaoh is just there a second faster.
Just no.
It's like I grab it and then like underhand throw it towards Ophelia and Anthony.
Yeah, okay. Wait, we are prepared to barter. We're Nathan, how do you Ophelia just sort of steps forward and she's like, we are prepared to trade. You realize she's maybe 8 years old, but she's like, as you all know, I deal in information and I have been compensated and I am prepared to offer something in exchange.
Oh, of course, young blood. You know, we appreciate that. You know, I mean, because you know, y'all are the head honchos around here. We know where the real power is.
I hate children.
They're like, Bean, my dad always watched a movie where what was it? It was like Darth Vader. I don't know. It was something about the Lion King, but he was like, I realize that you have been inconvenienced and I am prepared to compensate you. First, Madison. Also, Pharaoh. Yeah. Okay. All right. So here's what I know. And she leans in and she's like, Knowlton's working something special down in the garage underneath. That's what she sent you guys out for the gas for. She won't let anybody go down there. So it must be something good. Also, there's been a delay in the shift change from the guards that were up on the roof. They should have checked in 20 minutes ago and they haven't yet. So they're going to send some people to go take a look at it. You guys should hide, otherwise they're going to grab you. Also, somebody down on the 3rd floor, they like down in like the like crappy area down where like the checkout areas used to be. Like they're doing some horticulture down there where they're growing some really stinky plants that we're not allowed to touch. Also, hang on. What did we get? And they break open the package and there's a candy bar with 2 candy sticks inside of it that shall remain nameless. And she's like, oh, give me the left one. Give me the left. Great. Okay. And bites into it with a satisfying crunch that you see. She's like, oh, Bean. Oh my God, Bean. Oh, Bean. No. Shh, Bean, don't take this from me. Shh. Oh.
I hope you're allergic to chocolate.
Say something nice to me, Bean, and I'll do something nice for you.
You already told us like a bunch of stuff, so I feel like we're good here.
Like, all right, we'll have something better to trade next time. All the rest of you, thank you. And I, for my part, will not share this with anyone, and I won't let anybody else know that you've got booze and you've got snacks. And she like very accurately says what all of you have, that you thought you had it hidden. She very much is like, I won't tell anybody. You all have those things. And the two of them turn and run away.
This is going to be gone by the time anybody finds out, so that's fine with me.
As you guys are standing there, you do see someone goes running past. One of the runners goes just like coming down the hallway from the far end, and like everybody sort of stops and looks at them because they know the whole point is they carry messages quickly, and they're running through with the gun in their hand, panicking, coming straight towards you, presumably heading towards Knowlton, but going to run right past you.
I kind of just look at, I don't want to be picked to do any more work. So I'm just kind of like, try to kind of make myself inconspicuous and dodge out of their way and not make eye contact.
I go stand behind the couch.
Yeah, no, home, it's right over there, Bean. You can see it. It's right over there. Yes, Madison, we must say something.
Oh, I sit down next to Nathan and kind of like ask for a sip of what he's drinking and try and like look very engaged in conversation with him as the runner runs by, and I just lean in and I'm like, just talk about anything. Just a minute, just look very.
Really.
Are they gone yet?
What does Pharaoh do?
Pharaoh's shoes untied.
Yeah.
You know, just gotta bend right down behind whatever's there to just like tie this boot real quick. Even if it is tied, tie it tighter.
All of you are very effective at your hashtag act natural. You know, you kind of like start discussing the heady bouquet of the Schlitz malt liquor. Ducking behind the couch, tying your boot. You all see as they run by, Anthony and Ophelia see them run by and look at you guys and smile and turn and run after the runner. And you all are left to your own devices. Home is straight ahead calling to you.
I'm sharing, whoever wants this.
Do you want to head to cafeteria? You know, grab some grub, have some alcohol.
Let's celebrate another victorious run for the boss.
And it is true, even though you guys are bone tired, especially coming off that massive adrenaline dump. It is difficult these days, and as often as you go ranging, it is far more likely that you come back completely empty-handed than anything. So the fact that you guys recovered that much fuel is a lot. You all know you really have done something special today.
Definitely cause for celebration. Let's go get tanked before they give us another assignment. I mean, I'm glad that we're good, but let's not be that good all the time.
Is everybody gonna head up to the mess area?
Yes, and as he says, let's not be that good all the time. You see, Madison is very much still kind of like looking out the window, still playing eagle eye to see what's going on and see if the herd from earlier has calmed down or if that's grown at all.
Give me a spot. Listen.
I rolled 23 out of 59.
All right, so 20, 33, 43, 53, 3 degrees of success. There actually are surprisingly few places to look out in here, despite the fact that there's the huge bay windows and things when you come in. Like a casino in Vegas, they want you to lose track of time. But I will say, Madison knows enough nooks and crannies here to like be able to check and see. They're gone, and they shouldn't be gone that fast. Knowlton was right. They do usually sort of just kind of beat and exhaust themselves and then kind of shamble away. But I mean, they essentially have super rabies. So it's a long process. The noise of the banging attracts more with the noise of the banging. And then, it's usually a whole production. It should not be this quiet this fast, Madison.
So not to be the bearer of bad news or anything, guys, and I'm all for the celebration drink, but I'm not seeing any creepy crawlers outside right now, and that's not a good thing because there should be more of them. So they are, I assume, headed for something delicious.
Well, we did trip those alarms before a little further away. Maybe they got drawn to that.
How far away were those alarms from us and from the spot? You're muted, B. Dave.
I'm like very carefully click unmute, not stop video. The pizza shop that got its windows busted out is directly across the street. Like, I mean, is immediately across from where you were. Then part of the reaction of your survival force here was to start basically catapulting the stinky sticks out into the darkness to just hurdle raw meat away from here as a form of distraction. Basically around Coopco, you kind of have the building here, and then there's the street. To the left is the mall that no one enters anymore. Mall
Okay.
parking decks, then pizza joint, big parking deck.
We are now. I know where we are.
It's not there.
Okay.
Yes.
Guys.
Yeah.
I might head up to the roof. You're welcome to come with me if you want, but I'm going to get up high and see if I can't get a better look at making sure that they headed towards the alarms and not towards someone we care about. You don't have to come. You don't have to come. It's the roof. It shouldn't be too dangerous. Shouldn't. Doesn't mean it's not, but it's up to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check in with my mom's, and then everything's good with that. Scarf a little food. I'll head up to the roof after that, but probably you'll be back by then.
Oh yeah, 100%. This should take like 5 minutes. You'll be fine.
I felt like we were all trying to avoid doing the roof thing. No, we're not. We're
Madison likes to work overtime, so I'm gonna go get you some food, overachiever, and then if you're still up there, I'll bring it to you.
Sounds good.
I will go to my room and drop off my stuff that's mine and nobody else's, and then I will go to meet Pharaoh at the cafeteria, and then we'll go to the roof.
What does Bean's room look like?
It is a very careful arrangement of piles of items all over the floor. But they are stacked in little nice pyramids. They are structurally sound. There's a pile of just wrappers of various snacks, potato chip wrappers and candy wrappers and saran wrappers, and a pile of just like small rocks and like a little H shape, trying to make little kind of just all my collections look kind of like art a little bit. And you can't really see my bed. There's just like stuff everywhere. I kind of sleep on top of a big pile of magazines that are arranged very flat, very nice. And my snacks go in I take 3 books out, and there's like a little hole inside the bed that I put all the snacks in, and then I put the books back in.
Perfect. Madison, as you are making your way along, again, you sort of people kind of like, hey, smile, because again, the Rangers kind of hold some prestige here, because people are not unaware of the fact that you guys are doing the dangerous stuff so that we can live. And again, people are all kind of contributing the thing they can do. People that can sew are sewing. People that can cook are cooking. People that they have set up like a semblance of a school for the kids. Everyone is trying to contribute something. And as you make your way through the depths of this store and kind of come into one of the back areas, which is where the roof access is, what once in future would have been employee access only, and you see that there is sort of a guard on duty there, but they look just absolutely white as a sheet when you're approaching Madison.
Is there something wrong?
Yeah, I'm afraid there might be, ma'am. I'm afraid there might be. We sent a runner.
What's wrong?
Give me a spot listen, Madison.
That's a 13 out of 59. Man, I've never been so happy to like have just like dice rolls that are so low, because every other game I'm just in misery. But this game, I love it.
I gotta tell you, I didn't want to jinx it for you because I was like, this is a game of low numbers. This just all your training should have led to this. But I knew if I said that out loud, it was gonna be like 98, 98, 95, 98, 100.
Melee damage, notoriously low dice roller. You're welcome, internet.
So those out of 59, so that's 23, 33, 43, 53, 4 degrees of success. Is even before you open the mouth to say what's wrong, off in the distance towards the direction of the roof, you hear pow, 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 pow. Just a hint of it, just sort of echoing through the metal.
Do you know what's happening up there? Is there already a perimeter breach?
They didn't check in at the shift change. We sent somebody else up there. They didn't come back, and you know protocol. 2 people don't report. We quit sending people. Nolan said it's not a fucking Bruce Lee movie. You don't attack one at a time. You don't attack one at a time. So we sent a runner down, and now I'm manning my post, and he's like visibly trembling, like holding a shotgun. He's like, I'm manning my post. We sent a runner.
No. You go with the others. And Madison, after he leaves, is going to pull out one of the gasoline bottles, and she's gonna tie it up on the stairwell in there, and then she's gonna try her best to like shut that door and barricade the stairwell, and like if she can, punch out a little hole in the window to stick the bow through, because she's gonna try and shoot that water bottle if they all come down and make boom with flaming arrow. Like all zombies on fire in stairwell.
You could do that, but you do know you also will set the place you all live on fire if you do that.
She will also yell out loud, grab fire extinguishers and water.
Right. So your plan is to break the glass basically and like try and fashion a little bit of a ranged Molotov is the goal.
Yeah.
All right. So here, let me see if what I want you to roll to see how effective you are at that. And you very much, is now that you sort of tune your ear to it, you realize after a second, as you're sort of doing what you're doing down here, the shooting is stopped. Give me, what do I want to try and fashion this thing? We will do it like, you know what? I will give you straight 50-50. This isn't the first time that you've tried to MacGyver something like this. Straight 50-50. The extent to which you can punch the hole and sort of kajigger something.
An 89.
Cursed by hubris.
That's what it was.
I just like the record to show I didn't say anything. So that is almost 4 degrees of failure. And they rolled really, really good. Okay. So, Madison, you go to fashion the arrow. Get it ready. You think you kind of have it tight on. It's an inexact science of like to light it in the right order. You're like, no, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's right there by the window. A hand comes through and starts like reaching for you right there at the door. You and you tell me, actually, I'll tell you in this case what happens. The arrow with the gasoline attached to it, mercifully not lit yet, flies out of your hand and lands, and the tube of gasoline goes rolling into one of the rooms. And as the glass shatters and this thing is right there, people start screaming. Bean, Nathan, and Pharaoh all give me spot listens to see if you hear that the ambient screams start going up through the building. It rolled an 8 to hear you,
Wow.
and they're really fast.
Wow.
So the moment you're like, boom, it's like, okay. Right.
Sorry, we're doing spot listen.
Spot listen. This is to see if you hear the screams, as because all the people essentially that Madison has gone past that are nearby very much hear the screams and howls of the zombie.
Do you want them now? Or
Yes,
score?
please. Yeah. You
All
got
right.
it.
I rolled a 50 and my spot listen check is a 39%.
So that is one. You know what? For this, I will do personal. So that's 1 degree of failure for you, Nathan. You're sort of swigging the mad dog.
I'm not expecting this.
Yeah. You're like it's a day well. It's a day well managed. How about Bean?
60 out of 43.
Same thing, Bean. You're going through your mind. You're like, those were my candy bars. Fuck those kids.
Never
They
forget.
they owe me a candy bar. The inventory. How about you, Pharaoh?
41 out of 50. I think that's 59 or 57. Is 57 a possibility? I think that's
57 is absolutely a possibility. Either way, that's 1 degree of success. As you guys are sort of making your way along, you even can start to like catch the whiff of your mom's cooking. You swear, you're like, was that a? You're like,
damn, I was this close to just like tasting real cooked food. I tell the other two. Wait, what do we call them?
Infected.
what do you call them? At this stage in the outbreak, there is no common nomenclature for what they are. You're aware by now that they're not necessarily zombies as such. You're aware of the fact that they're still alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pharaoh goes, I hear ragers.
Right here. Here, where?
The direction Madison went.
So this is that, right? If they're in where we are, then they've breached our defenses. My understanding this right?
It sounds like we have to decide what we're gonna do. Are we gonna run and help Madison, or are we gonna?
No, we can't. I'm gonna grab whatever I can. Like if there's a golf club, or if we're walking past. I mean, we're still in all the, whatever sticky thing I can grab. My bat. I wasn't expecting this, so I just threw it in my room. So
well, theoretically, if you're gonna go help Madison, your room is on the way. So theoretically, you could grab it if your intention is to try and get back there.
Yeah. I mean, if we're hearing them, if you're hearing what you said you heard, then this is bad news for us here. So I'm going back to see what's going on.
Madison.
Drinking.
I'm just like, here we go. Yeah, I will die as I've lived. Madison, you sort of scrambled and fell to your butt when this thing, and you see its crazy bloodshot eyes looking at you as it's like trying to force its way through the door. It's almost like it didn't even occur to it to open it once it saw you reaching for you. And you can see it's very rare that you've gotten this close of a look at it. And its lips are curled back in an almost impossible snarl, and its mouth is frothy, and the eyes are red and bloodshot to the point that you almost feel like it's going to bug out of its head. And you can make out the tattered remains of a Lakers jersey, maybe. It's hard to see.
That makes sense. We are in close to LA. I yell back at everybody that's there that's screaming to run away and also shut the hell up. And I don't do it any more kind than that because they should know better. And if there is something around, like any kind of like umbrella or something that I could like get behind, like a rain poncho, a box, like just something that I could kind of stand behind, I am going to try and take aim at it now that it's like reaching through the window and see if I can get a shot through its face.
There's not any really great cover unless you like kneel down, because it's all those like little low pro couches. You know, the whole thing was designed to be able to see all the way across.
I just don't know how much room I have, and I don't want to get hit with back spray. So I just want
but
something.
I will say you kind of back into the left type thing. You're like, I'm not going to get this on me type thing. Sure. Out of all of the people that run screaming and running, there are protocols for this. There are some, you know, safety places where people supposed like fire alarms, you know, so they it's not total chaos, but it's largely chaos because a lot of these people have never seen one up close. You do see one man comes up and he's holding a hammer, but like a big carpenter's hammer with like a long crook on it. And he does just sort of like come up next to you as you take your shot. And you do hear the door is holding, but the door is going to give as it's like, go ahead and take your shot, Madison.
And as I take my shot, I yell at him, get something heavy, get a heavy piece of furniture, put it in front of the door before it gives.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Y'all, I really did curse myself.
No.
72 out of 69.
So that is still basically 0 degrees of failure. You're like, hey, get something heavy. And he's like, okay. And as he turned, like bumps you, man, ding, your arrow sort of like flies wide.
I just look at him begrudgingly like, bro.
He's like, sorry. And he is not ineffective at pushing. You realize this guy's a bit of a blunt instrument, like he probably retread tires or something, but he's got those like burly dad shoulders of somebody that played football in 75 type thing. And he does, you know, and runs immediately and grabs another one. The Rager, I love that title. Issuing the disclaimer, Alex might get mad at me and want me to use a different nomenclature, so we might be calling him something different next week. But for now, you guys call them Ragers. Give me a dodge check, Madison.
Unmute. Okay, good.
23 out of 45. I rolled a 23. 45 is my number.
Good. Let me just double check something real quick. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. Good. Fine. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Hold on. There is something in the book, and I want you all to know that this is a thing called splatter. So just checking to make sure. Cool. That is a thing. Perfect. Madison. This thing goes and a greenish red fluid shoots out towards you, which you do successfully get out of the way, having said that you were trying to be out of the way, semi behind cover, and it all over the ground, and it smells terrible. And immediately afterwards, doom, rips through the door like, and comes into the room. When all of you come around the corner and at the far end of the room, see Madison vault out of the way before it projectile vomits outwards and busts through the door.
And you see her screaming, run! And I will try and take one last shot at the gasoline bottle that's rolling on the floor. Like as I'm kind of like running away, I'm gonna try and hit it as the zombie gets close to it to see if I can make it explode one more time.
This will take a significant number of successes to light the arrow, shoot it, and hit it. Remember, you do have 2 competency points, which you can decide after you see the roll, whether or not you want to do that.
What would you like me to roll? Just the
It's archery, your bow skill. Yeah, just your bow skill. If you get enough, because we established you were trying to make a flaming arrow, so I'll be like you were ready with a light. We will see if you make it.
Yeah, and also depending, Pharaoh has her rifle. She could swing that up to try to slow the zombie.
Oh yeah. No, that as I was just gonna say, as of now, you don't know about the gasoline bottle. You absolutely know about the zombie. You all kind of come around the corner. What'd you get there, Madison?
It is a 27 out of 69.
So 37, 47, 57, 67. So here's the thing. I had in my head it was going to take 5. So if you want to, you've got 4. If you want to
I'll use my point.
That's what I was about to say. If you want to use the competency point to push it to 5, I will give it to you.
100%.
You know what? With your 5, you tell me, Madison. I have an idea how this is going to work. I'm going to say, as this man was moving the couches around, he moved the couch that the gasoline bottle was under. And you notice as this thing kind of busts through, it does sort of like roll not too terribly far away from it. And it's standing there. What do you do?
So you guys, as you see her running wild-eyed at you, going, run! You see her thumb kind of go across the lapel of her jacket, and it makes a little spark. And you see the tail end of her arrow catch that's right by her shoulder as she goes to aim for it. So it's like a swoop motion like that. And she shoots, and you see a flaming arrow go straight through the air and hit the gasoline bottle that is hopefully right under the zombie's feet.
You all see all of this, and you're like, what the boom? And a fireball erupts. And you all hear the screaming of not just this infected being caught point blank by the explosions, but other ones that are nearby.
Run.
Mm-hmm.
We're running right back where we came from, I think. Is that?
Mm-hmm.
Madison is high stepping it like Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yep. Pharaoh, especially since you have your rifle, give me a spot listen, because you guys are basically at the far end of the corridor, essentially, like the picture behind Pharaoh. Essentially, it got blown up in the foreground. Everybody but Madison is at the other end of the hall. Like, what the? Whoa!
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Good
Yeah.
shot, Madison, by the way.
Okay, so this was spot listen.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I got a 68. My spot listen is 59.
I'm going to say you slung the rifle up and looked through the scopes. I'm going to give you 1 success. And you do see this thing that she shot burning in against the back wall, having had flaming gasoline doused upon it. And it's like burning. You see the shadows from the fire of 2 other ones as you sort of look through the scope. I'm just like very like slowly approaching the fire and warily. It looks like she took out 1 and slowed down 2 more, but more are coming.
Okay. I say out loud then, there's a total of 3. And Pharaoh, while walking backwards, is gonna guns are so loud. But there's a fire. They're coming in anyway. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna shoot for them. I'm gonna try to slow them down. They're coming, but I'm gonna try to slow them down.
You got a long range rifle. And you know, it's got some kick. You feel you kind of have a choice. You can either wait until they kind of come into clear view, because she did blow the door off. Well, it had already ripped the door off, and now definitely there's no door there. You can try and put a bullet through the wall, because you can, based on its shadow, you're like, well, it must be kind of there-ish. Or you can wait for it to come into view, which will be easier to hit it. It's up to you. Basically, if you want to shoot and go, you got to put a bullet through the wall. If you're willing to wait a little bit, yeah, okay.
All
right.
Go.
Right. Roll me your firearm skill.
Okay, so
you realize the gun's got the penetrating power to go through the wall. It's whether or not it's going to have the accuracy.
Right, firearm, long gun.
Long gun. When you all see that she says that, she pulls the trigger. Ka-chow! What are Nathan and Bean doing?
Well, so they're on the other side of the hall. How wide is it? Is it like
it's
warehouse
literally
wide?
what's behind Pharaoh?
Okay,
like
great.
it's basically that, but more like cots than high chairs. But yeah,
I am, and behind us is a door that we came through, because I'm trying to plan the exit strategy. It's just
it's so big and open in here. Like, I mean, there's the odd place where people have sort of put up like kind of dividers to have some semblance of this is my place, but I mean, it is cavernously open.
I'm gonna I mean, if there's tables
also,
around.
I would point. This is where I would point out. I would refer you all to the map, because I did provide a map of your establishment, and there are places where you essentially can like sneak through the exits and cut across.
Right.
You all know. You have a couple of different things. You know, in the event of an emergency, the civilians were supposed to gather basically down on the first floor where you all were. Because then the decision would be made if they were going to the garage, if they were going to hold up there, if they were going to try and leave, if they're going to stand and fight. You know, the protocol was to gather at the front door. Yeah. You all are up on the second level and kind of like back inside a bit.
I'm gonna, if there's like one of those shortcut doorways near us, I'm gonna start to head that way. But I'm also gonna take tables and flip them down and create like kind of an obstacle course, so that if they do kind of head to us, they can't, they don't have a direct line.
Right. It'll be easy. It'll be difficult to catch up to you.
Exactly. So I'm knocking stuff over as I'm calling out to go through this doorway shortcut.
Perfect. Perfect.
That's it.
And Madison is beating feet. What is Bean doing?
So I'm looking at the map now. Would you say where, like, what room are we in? I mean, the kitchen, bedroom.
I'm pulling it up now to look, because I'm like, that is relevant. Where I'm like, I gave you a map. Where are we on it? I'm like, where are you not on it?
Well, I guess I'll say this. Each room seems to have two, like a way in and a way out, or three ways in and out. I'm gonna follow Nathan's example and kind of go towards try to like funnel.
I'm gonna say that you guys were kitchen, top right.
Okay.
Top right of the second floor kitchen is where you all were.
I want to try to make my way to the entrance to the second floor, and I'm gonna assume this floor is done. We're dead to us, and we have to try to keep them up here somehow and like regroup downstairs. So I'm gonna make my way to the entrance where the stairway is. It's like the only way up, I guess. And I'm gonna kind of just. Nathan, I think if we're gonna start blocking doorways, the stairs, we should block that and try to get some metal there or something. Put some shelving up there, but I don't think we should block every single door.
Yeah, because if you're following after Nathan, there is one of the like hidey holes there at the bottom of the kitchen that kind of goes into the wall lofts and media storage, essentially.
Yes.
Which will help you bypass a bunch of this if you're heading down that way.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm trying to block that kind of area that's right above us. Just like throw stuff down so that we can get out from that.
Okay. What'd you get on your rifle shot there, Pharaoh?
I got a 12 out of 67.
So that's so 22, 32, 42, 52. That's 5 degrees of success. Which under normal circumstances would have killed it instantly, but because the wall is there, you click, pow, rolled fantastically on its dodge. So you hear like a howl and a scream of pain, and it comes running around the corner. And you can see it. You can see that it's shot, but again, it's nothing but rage and adrenaline. But you were far enough away. Do you try and move after the others? Do you try and take another shot or what?
No, I'm moving with the others. If I can take another shot later, then cool. But I was literally just trying to slow it down so it wouldn't be coming for people.
It is definitely shot and injured. However, Pharaoh, you see it comes and is running straight towards you as you're falling back. A second one comes through and looks up and jumps and grabs onto the rafter and climbs up into the rafters. And you see it like you all are running through here. These things are blisteringly fast. You see even shot. It comes at you and is like, and the guy with the hammer actually rolled astonishingly well and comes and pulls a freaking Mjolnir and boom, cracks this thing in the head. He rolled a 5.
Wow.
So he's like, and it falls to the ground, bleeding from where you shot it, Pharaoh. But it very much is like trying to still get up. Like you can see like half of its head is bashed in and like its jaw is kind of hanging open and it's like
I assume Pharaoh knows hammer time. So she's
it's
gonna
weird.
be like,
That's what they call him. Yeah. He looks at you and he's like, your mom would have never forgiven me if I let that fucking thing get you. Let's go. Yeah.
Run. Pharaoh's already like,
as you all are heading, you can hear the boom, 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 boom of the one up in the rafters that is coming through. And even out of the corner of your eye, you can see the glint of it like jumping from rafter to rafter, coming after you all. All of you, give me just one speed die. Roll 1d6. 6, 4. Actually, Bean, it's not 6. If it's 6, you got to roll it again.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Load. Yes. 4. 5,
6, 7.
7. It's a same thing, Pharaoh. It's not a 6. You got to roll it again. It's 5 plus the second thing.
Oh no.
oh no, that's horrible.
Is this good or bad?
No, this is bad.
Not
Yeah,
good.
low
So-
numbers is what you want
So
here.
5 plus 7.
You all, as you've done too good of a job, Nathan, throwing the obstacles behind you to slow it down because it is slowing them down too. As you are tiptoeing around to get around the blood and vomit from this thing and the obstacles and all the screaming people, because there are 76 people in here, some of which were sleeping. It's kind of like coming and getting their bearings about them. You all, hang on. As you guys are kind of scrambling around the corner and Bean and Pharaoh, you see that Nathan and Madison are starting to like open up a bit of a lead. It pounces out of the rafters and comes down on somebody.
Oh crap.
And like bites into the guy's neck. He's like, because it got a 3. So I don't know why this is also fantastic, but it does swipe a claw at you, Bean. Give me a dodge, because it bites into this guy and looks at you with just rage in its eyes.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm good at dodging.
Don't say it out loud first.
Okay, I rolled a 40 and my dodge is 73.
Okay, so 50, 60 says 3 degrees of success. Okay, let me see how good this thing did. Keep track of that, please. Hang on, because I'm gonna need to know in a second. Oh, okay, here we go. Bean, it lashes out at you, and its claws rip across your coat. Luckily enough, you took your sweeties out of it already. Otherwise, that would have cost you even more. But there's that split second where you're like, oh my God, it got me. Oh no, it didn't get me. And it just like looks around wild eyes, like, and just like goes after the next person as people are screaming and running. Madison, as you have gotten to the top of the stairs, you hear this chaos. You turn around and see it swings at Bean and then just pounces on the next person. You can run down the stairs, or you can try and do something.
Running down the stairs, does that get me closer to my friends or closer to the group of people that where the gathering spot is?
So right now, the gathering spot where protocol says to be is down the stairs. Okay. Nathan is close to you because you guys were beating feet. Pharaoh and Bean got held up, and now the infected is like down on the ground killing people, basically right behind you.
Do we see anybody else running down the stairs at the moment besides just us? Like, is Hammer Time or the guy with the couches? Okay, I'm gonna grab Hammer Time and I'm gonna be like, let them know they need to get to like lockdown safety. And I'm gonna turn around and take my bow and tell him to go tell the others down below. And I'm gonna try and take a shot at the one that just took a swipe at Bean.
As she does that, can I say something to her?
Absolutely.
Light it up, because as I see her do that, and I know now, I'm sure this isn't the first time I've seen her use flaming arrows before. I'm taking the bottle of the alcohol that I have, which is flammable, and I'm chucking it right at that thing that's like devouring that dude.
Ooh.
Hopefully,
so
they
give
make contact together.
Give me two to that. That's not all heroes wear capes. Yeah. So we're gonna do two things. You're gonna give me throw to see if you hit it with the alcohol, and then Madison, you give me just a straight bow shot to see if you hit it with the arrow. Same thing. I'll give you the lighting it on fire as a freebie.
She's got a little flint ring. It makes it real easy to just go across that little leather strap on her jacket.
When we get a little crunchier, I'll just have you add speed when you're trying to set your arrows on fire. But yeah, for now,
I want to show you. I wish I could show you this sweet 5 that I got.
So how many degrees of success is that?
That is, so I have a 41. So,
so 15, 25, 3 degrees of success. Oh, but that's plenty. You would know it's plenty. You whip. You know, and roll it, Madison.
That was 33 out of 69.
So that's 69, dude. Also 3 degrees of success. So and it starts thrashing about wildly as it's burning, also starting to set other things on fire. Crap. As it is flailing, and you see the flames start to spread across the couches and furnishings there. Pharaoh,
I yell up at Nathan. I go, "Isn't there supposed to be a sprinkler system in here or something?" Jesus Christ!
There was. You guys took the water out of it for potable water.
Crap.
Pharaoh, you are back there closer to Bean again. Now this thing is burning and everything nearby. What is Pharaoh doing? But you do see it flailing about while it's burning.
Okay. I'm gonna you know what? I'm gonna call a shot. I'm gonna try to take out a kneecap to knock it over.
All right. You know what? I will let you roll it. We'll see how it all comes out, and then we'll decide how you spend them. Okay.
All right.
Are you using your rifle or like one of your handguns?
Let's use the pistol for this. Because when Pharaoh started running, she would have put it back in her holster on the side. We're thinking like Last of Us 2 with the double rifle holster thing. But she always pistols. All right. That is a 3 and a 20. So 23 for 69. So
33, 43, 53. 33, 43, 53, 63. Yeah, so 4 degrees of success. I will say that is enough to hit it in the knee if you so chose. When you whip around and you're like click, bang, so it just like falls to the ground. You all hear more of the echoey calls from them coming from the direction of the roof. Pharaoh, the one that you shot and got hit in the head, very poorly pounces towards you. You like click, bang, whoa, kind of step back. You all see this as you are standing there by the stairs. And as you get ready to head down, you hear pow, pow, and its head explodes. But Pharaoh, give me a dodge check.
Oh no. All right. We got this. What is dodge? Could be better. All right. Got a 39. My dodge is 45.
So that is 1 degree of success. Pharaoh, you see its head explodes and you basically tuck up and you are splashed with its blood
into my jacket that I
your
got.
new coat. Yes.
Yes.
The new coat that you just scavenged is ruined from zombie blood, but it does not get on you. You all see coming up the stairs, some of the guards that are on duty to protect the place today are coming up with shotguns and machine guns. And as you look back across the room, 3 more of the infected are coming scrambling in, coming down that hallway. So as the guards are pushing forward, you guys have a choice. Do you try and fight with the guards or do you move down? Which is technically protocol, is to move down, but it's up to you.
I stick with protocol.
Wow.
Light them up. Actually, the guards roll pretty well. They're not doing terribly. They make their firing line, boom, 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 and you see things exploding all over here as like their people's worldly possessions are getting shot up and burned. And you do see a big pot-bellied man kind of comes up with a big fire extinguisher that's kind of like holding by his hip. But he's like, God damn it, I can't get up there. There's too many of them. And you hear Knowlton yelling from down below, like yelling out instructions to people of where they're supposed to be. And she's like, God damn it, get those fires out, get those kids out of here. Everybody, lock and load, lock and load.
Pharaoh looks at Nathan and Bean and Madison because, you know, this is like part of her team, and she's thinking in the back of her head where her moms are right now. Like if they followed protocol to go down. I mean, one was a marketing executive and the other one was an actor. So hopefully they did.
If they followed protocol, they should be downstairs.
Yeah, Pharaoh's like looking at her other teammates like, what are we doing?
I feel like we should go and like follow the rules because these guys they totally got it. I think we're fine. We should.
Yeah, let's go see who made it out. Also, see, I told you 5 minutes. It'd be super quick. I just
the guy with the fire extinguisher, is he extinguishing the fire? Is he?
He can't get to it. No, he can't get to it. The firing, that's too colorful use of language. Basically, the guards came up and established a firing line and are just holding it like boom, 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 boom. But there's stuff on fire here from this zombie that got lit up. There's also stuff on fire from where the bomb got set up elsewhere on the second floor. And you all starting to smell smoke and things spreading.
Oh no.
It is not a like towering inferno, all is lost yet. But if you're going to put the fire out, it needs to happen quickly, or it's not. It'll burn out of control.
I'm gonna take that fire extinguisher out of his hand, and if there's the one that we lit on fire, because he seemed to be moving a lot slower than I can move. So I'm gonna try to get an angle and try to extinguish that. And we gotta put this fire out. And
so The good news, apparently the fates are with you guys today because your firing line is rolling fantastically. So you see some of the infected come in, they're like boom, 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 like perfect trigger control, just triple tap, bang, 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 bang. And they have killed one of them and are driving two of them backwards. While they're shooting them. You could get to the one that was on fire. Make a dodge check.
Is that the one that I kneecapped on the ground?
It is.
Yeah. Also, Farrell
it is
over...
burning and shot and everything, but it is alive, and that means it is dangerous.
It's wily. It's a wily rager. Farrell looks over at Madison and goes, "Why is it your 5 minutes are always like this?"
Because if not, who would keep things interesting? You're very welcome.
What do you got there, Nathan?
I got a 60 and my dodge is where is it? Oh, 51. So that's
So here's the thing. That is no degrees of success or failure. That is a push. I will tell you, it's got 1 degree of success. So it is going to get you as it is flailing around. You can spend both of your competency points, if you like, to sort of get out of the way if you want. Otherwise, it is going to injure you because it is very wounded. It is shot, it is burned, but it's still like Terminator clawing at you.
I do, absolutely. To get out of that, yeah. You
tell me what that looks like. So that gives you 1 degree of success, which is not much, but it is enough. So you're approaching this thing with the fire extinguisher. It is lunging at you like the wounded, dying animal it is. And Nathan does what?
It lunges at me, and in the last moment, I bring the fire extinguisher around to block its grab. But then it grabs like a part of the fire extinguisher, and then I push it into it and use that as a moment to get the hell out of it. But I drop the fire extinguisher as a result.
You do drop the fire extinguisher, but it looks like it is in the process of dying. It's not dead yet, but it is going to cost you precious seconds. You see the firing line, they're like boom, 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 boom. You hear they're like, forward, and they all just like very like 1 step at a time, like boom, 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 moving through there. The infected roll horrifically, and you see another one of them gets killed, and the last remaining one turns and scrambles and is running back out the door again. Like,
they've got a self-preservation instinct.
Right, it's retreating.
Oh my God, no. I mean, yes, but also no.
Do you all let it go, or do you try to stop it?
I'm gonna shoot it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Both of you can roll.
That means it's seen things and it understands, and it might come back, and there might be revenge in mind.
Yeah.
This
now
like that Will Smith movie.
Oh yeah.
To be clear,
Legend.
I Am Legend. Yeah. Weird, huh? Now, Nathan, even though you are a hand-to-hand specialist, you are not unskilled with a firearm. I mean, you have a gun. Your options are not fight hand-to-hand or nothing. You're just much better at that. So if you want to shoot, you can. Otherwise, if you want to say that you're fighting the fire, which is very valid, you can say you're doing that, because it is, pending how long the fire burns, and I am keeping track of that, is going to affect some other things that come next.
I know they got this. I'm gonna if that thing is still dying in front of me, and still alive, if I can pick up the fire extinguisher and smash it. I'm gonna try to eliminate the one and then put out the fire.
You all roll to give me your shots. Bean, as you're standing there, the man that was bitten when it came out of the rafters looks at you and is like, Bean, it got me. Bean, it bit me. Bean, I just, Bean, can you help me, please? I just.
Okay, all right, you're being real loud. So do as a medic, do I know the way to fix it, or like what how
I mean,
many
it
6
is
months?
treatable. I mean, you can do just basic stuff like, first aid, try and stop the bleeding and things like that. You also can try and see if he's infected.
I'll try to see if he's infected first.
Actually, I will.
Kinda-
Yeah, give me just a first aid. For this is going to be just you sort of eyeballing the guy from from a few feet away. You can just give me your first aid check.
Would that be advanced medicine, or would that be?
Just first aid. It's in the second.
I
It's in the
see.
second category. Yeah.
Oh, hell, it's really high. Okay.
It is. You're very good at this. Advanced medicine is more when you're like actual surgery, like actually like trying to there's some specific things you can do with advanced medicine, but yeah.
I rolled a 4 and my first aid is 81%.
Wow.
I think I cured him of cancer. Just my hands.
Well, two things. You know, if you do nothing, he'll bleed out. You also know he's absolutely infected. You see the lines are kind of starting to go out from the wound a little bit. And he's like, no, I know. They said we could treat it. It was fine. If you just, oh, wait, Bean, Bean, don't leave me. Please don't leave me. Bean, please don't leave me.
That's Bean shushing, not me.
You're like,
do I can tell he's infected. Do I know that that's it? It's over? Or do I know that I have time? What do I know?
If you do absolutely nothing, he's going to bleed to death.
Right?
He may or may not bleed to death before he turns. That is a coin toss.
Mm-hmm.
Are you asking, can you save him?
Okay, well, if I stop the bleeding, will he absolutely turn? I guess is what I'm asking.
Oh, if you stop the bleeding, he will absolutely turn.
Okay, there isn't fixing it. Okay.
The infection can be treated, but it's a long shot. And yeah, I will say with your 5 successes, you're not going to be able to save this guy.
Cool.
But between the chunk that was taken out of his neck, and like that's hard enough.
Okay.
Plus, he has super rabies now.
Great. Just assessing the situation as a medical professional.
Do
Do no harm. What do I do?
Well,
okay,
while you ponder it, Pharaoh and Madison, as this thing's and you guys come around the corner, click, bang. What did you guys get?
I got 56 out of 69, so one degree of success, I think, right?
1 degree of success. Okay.
I got 36 out of 69 because I'm still using my pistol.
Okay. So that was at 3 degrees?
That's 3 degrees.
Okay, so you got 4 total. It got 2 on its dodge. So as you guys, the arrow's coming in Pharaoh, you don't know how those fuckers do it. It's like they've got radar. As your arrow is closing in on the back of its head, it just hooks out of the way right into your scope, Pharaoh. Pow. And it dies. Bean, what do you do?
I've successfully shushed the man. And I just put my hands over his eyes and I grab my machete and I cut his windpipe to give him a quick death.
You're still gonna have to roll to see how good of a job you do to put him to, because you may or may not put him away gently. Give me your melee. You can give me either piercing or, you said piercing or slashing. I know you said cut his throat, but whichever is going to be the better dice
Lord
pool.
in heaven. Wait, where's piercing and slashing?
It is trained skill checks, right hand side.
Trained right. Okay, they're all the same thing. So hold on. Should I get advantage because he's prone or no? This is not my game.
That is not this game.
Jesus. Cool. So I'll be real. I rolled a 67. I only have a 28.
So you are like, shh, and you pull the knife out, and he goes, "Wait, what? No! And grabs your arm.
All right.
As you start trying to push it down, you're like, no, you got, and you start to see the bloodshot start to go through his eyes, Bean, as you're trying to drive the gun down on him, and he's like, no, and he just goes limp. and you see Knowlton standing behind him with a revolver. And he's like, it's mighty fine work there, Miss Beanley. Mighty fine work. But I think we might be fucked. And that's a good place for us to stop for the night.
I don't want to do this. I'm so scary.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
y'all. It
Like in
coulda
a good
gone-
way.
Yeah, no, I've played this game. Yeah, no, it's I rolled so fantastically. Usually to your, at least it was nothing that was overtly hostile. The firing line rolled great, and the infected kept rolling great on all of their like spot listen and athletics to like know where you were and to be coming through the rafters and stuff. I've never rolled under 10% that many times in my whole entire life.
Wow.
But hey, you all lived through the first one.
We
Yay!
lived through the first
Yay.
half. The first half of
You
one.
lived through the first half of one. That-
One of them.
That is true. But hey, no, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But now you guys have an idea.
I got to live out my dream of shooting Mazel Tov cocktails with arrows in the apocalypse. I'm very happy right now. It's an ultimate
True.
win.
Mazel tov
True.
ones.
That's that
If I threw them, they're Mazel Tov cocktails.
I like it.
They are in fact the new tradition. Yes. So thank you all for joining us. It is late on the West Coast and horrifically late on the East Coast. So thank you very much. But we will be back here next week, next Tuesday. I know we're slightly over, but I still want you guys to tell people where they can find you. So we will go in the reverse order of what we went in the first place, and we will start with you. May, who are you? Where can they find you?
Hello, I am Melee Damage. You can find me on all the socials, whatever it is, /Melee Damage, up to and including Patreon, where I run games and do cosplay and all kinds of fun stuff like that. So yes, you should check out all of my socials for updates on a lot of the shows that I'm on. Thursday, I'm on a show with another show with B. Dave called A Darkened Wish. And it's based off of a wonderful comic he wrote. And a couple other things here and there. I pick up things. I do lots of strange things. So just follow me on the socials and you'll see it all.
Absolutely. Luis?
Hey, Luis Carrazzo, and I just added my last name there in parentheses because you can find me in all the social medias with my first and last name, that combo, and I'll show up. So same thing, follow me. I do various things, and sometimes I'm on TV. So follow me and watch that stuff.
That is true. That is true. You've become one of those people for me, Luis, that I'll be flipping through the channels and I see you and I'm like, bah! I know that guy. Mm-hmm. Hey, I got SAG eligible this week, so I'm trying to be like you
Nice.
when I grow up,
Ooh.
Luis.
Don't grow up.
It's supposed to say it only took years of effort, but here we are. Michelle.
Hi, you can find me everywhere on the internet at I am Chubby Bunny. You can also look at my YouTube, which is where I kind of collect all the shows that I am working on. I currently have a show with Viz Media called Got Manga. It's kind of like a summer book club that has like a reading guide that comes, like a downloadable reading guide. And it's super fun, and it's like basically bi-weekly and talk about manga like Naruto and Uzumaki and like scary shit. So that's on youtube.com/chubbybunnymichelle, but links are in my Twitter, so find it there.
Not Berserk, never Berserk. Like no story should go on for nearly 40 years and not have an ending. Fuck Berserk. That is all I have to say. Yeah. Hit me up later to find out how I really feel about Berserk. And last but certainly not least, Markia.
Well, you can find me at Markia McCarty. That's on Twitter and Instagram. If you love horror in general, then please check out Something Scary. You can go to youtube.com/snarled. I'm host, narrator, story editor for animated horror episodes that happen there. And then also you can find us anywhere you get your podcast, Spotify, iTunes, and the whatnot. It's called Something Scary. And yeah, also welcome new subscribers from like Gen Con. We hope that you've enjoyed the content so far. Obviously you have, if you like have the subscription or you've gifted subscriptions and everything like that. We're gonna have 2 shows every week This one, Hunters Presents, and then also on Saturday nights, I'll be hosting Hunters Gathering, where you'll find some of the behind the scenes stuff that happens with games. In particular, for this Saturday, we are going to focus on Alice is Missing, which is an all silent RPG, and we'll be speaking with the creator and getting deep down in with the content with that. Oh, if you couldn't tell, I'm a host and producer for Hunters Entertainment. So yeah, check us out on Tuesdays for Hunters Presents, and then Saturdays for Hunters Gathering.
And also, if you have a chance sometime this week, watch the VOD from our Gen Con game. If you didn't see it, you can see how this whole mess started and maybe get an idea of where it's headed. Spoiler alert, nowhere good. Again, B. Dave Walters. I say words about things. I'm somewhere 7 days a week. You can follow me on Twitter, find it all out. Crowdfunding for a documentary. It is pinned at the top of my profile at B. Dave Walters. And with that being said, be safe out there, and we'll see you next week. Bye.